It's Friday. Good evening, everybody. How is everyone doing? How's your week been? How are your plans for the weekend coming up? It is finally Friday. That means just one more weekend after this one until Christmas. It's crazy how the year is almost to an end. Now, do let me know if everything's coming through okay on your end, guys. I updated Windows last night, and now currently everything's flickering. The CPU is running at about 7% compared to about 1% it normally runs at during these streams. And my OBS, just the interface on OBS isn't updating. So I'm a little bit blind tonight, which could be an interesting challenge. So do let me know in chat if there are any issues that come up. Granted, most of the time it's likely to be my incompetence rather than anything technical, but at least I now have an excuse. Now, we are the champions, and that's what I really should have opened with tonight, because we are the champions. We are the champions of the secondary domestic cup in Finland, but that doesn't matter. We've got silverware. We've won our first league game this season, so hopefully this is about to be the beginning of a wonderful, wonderful campaign. Let's head on over to the game. We'll do a quick little recap of where everything is. And then RJ has redeemed guest a player nice and early, so we'll have a quick round of that as well. I will warn you guys, I think you might end up hating me this evening. There might be some slightly more difficult elements to the quiz, as it is the end of the week. You know, you've had a whole week of having to use up your brains at work, and now I'm going to try and sap out that last bit of energy so you can collapse in a fit of happiness and wake up fresh for the weekend or something. I'm not really sure how that works, but that's what I'm going with anyway. So here we are. We've moved forward until the next game. So we were second at the end of last night's stream, a Wednesday evening stream even, just behind Oulu on goal difference. We beat Ekenas on the opening day. That was a nice 3-1 victory that, let's be honest, we rushed out to a lead in the first half. We looked really good. The second half, we struggled for quite a bit. So it's nice for us to be able to see that over the line. 3-1, good way to start the season. But that wasn't the important bit. The important bit was the Liga Cup final. Arvid Lundberg with a double. He's already got a hat-trick earlier in the competition. But there he was, our boy wonder, the 18-year-old target forward. Netting twice. Let's have a look at the goals again, because they make me happy. Oh, tequila, they make me happy. Tequila, they make me strong. Lundberg doesn't work with tequila. He's young, he probably doesn't know how to handle it yet. There he was, tapping in at the far post after it. Olawale let it run, and then he takes the free kick. It doesn't get cleared properly. Absolute top bins. Look at that. Wasn't that beautiful stuff? So we're in a pretty good shape. We lost our Robin Sid to hip injury. He's going to be out for 4 months. We tried to sell him. He rejected the offer that came in, and then he ended up injured for the season. So we brought in Dylan Shambost at the request of Adam on the ball. He's come in. He's just made one substitute appearance so far. He is going to be potentially our starting trequartista. In the time that we've moved the game on, Albin Skoglund has picked up yet another injury. So he's only a couple of days away, I think. So he might be okay for the bench today. We lost Rockman for about 2 to 3 weeks as well. So the injury bug has hit quite deep. Also, whilst we're away, or in the brief moments we forwarded this on, Sebastian Dahlstrom has told us he's not going to renew his contract. So this is our last year of the wonderful, glorious Sebastian Dahlstrom. We will enjoy it whilst we still can. And that does mean that I have very, very panicked offered Olawale an extension at €1,000 per week. That's going to put us about €1,000 a week over our wage budget. But that's fine. We've got our squad set now. Anyway, I forgot to do the important bit first. Like, you can tell I'm a little bit flustered by this Windows update not quite working out quite as I was expecting. Let's say hello to everyone. We've got Levi in, we've got RJ, we've got Johnny Trotter, we've got Tatsugiri in. Sass is here, the glorious Sass. If I didn't make skins myself, I would definitely be showing off your fine work, sir. Crab Lungs is here. We've got a little bit of The Football Manager over on YouTube. I think I just saw Knights of Knee was in, as well as Yonsa. I hope you guys are all doing well. Lovely to see you. GNG is in. Football Manager FM, Got No Game. Guys, if you're not following Got No Game, just do. He's got such a lovely, relaxing voice to listen to. A lovely entertainer. So El Norby is in as well. Good evening, El Normy. I hope you're well. Supreme Kwan is here. As is Neutral Normie. Champions of Secondary Division Cup in Finland. You'll never sing that. Exactly. We are unique. Apart from the other teams that probably can say that. Who else can actually say that? Let's have a look here. It doesn't feel like it's not exactly a long-standing competition. Oh no, it is. It's since 1994. So Ilves can sing that. HJK, FC Honka can sing that. They can sing it multiple times. Look at that. AC Allianci, a team I've definitely not heard of. No appearances for FC Jazz. That is always a disappointment. So what have we got in the chat that I may have missed as we were doing the introductions? Malaysian second division player. Malaysian second division. Oh right, yes, yeah. We're going obscure with the guess the player. That's for sure. No, the guess the players won't be too hard. They've got to be guessable. The only connects might be a little bit more tricky. I'm getting Brian Kilcline vibes this evening. Halifax Town legend 1998. That would be very cool. Lundberg is 18, so by Finnish standards he would have been on the Keeler for about 4 years already. Fair point, Jonsa. Fair point. So last season, Sebastian Stromsteiger. I remember you did a valuation of players in the Chelsea Moneyball Clinic. How'd you put a number on Bundesliga legend Olawale? That's a fair point. Now, I would say that Olawale, to me, has been so much more valuable than, I can't even remember his name at Chelsea, Armando Broja. So if we use Broja as a comparison point, Broja's on €87,000 a week. So I think 1,000 a week for Olawale is reasonable. We'll go with that, right? Yeah, definitely. Right, so let's head on over. We'll do our first round of Guess the Player. Now, I can't see this, unfortunately, whilst I'm doing this with the issues with OBS. So I'm going to have to kind of keep an eye on the stream at the same time. We have a little change in store. We've taken it from 5 pictures down to 4, and we've just changed the order a little bit of some of the things. Just nice to keep it a little bit fresh. Nothing majorly different otherwise. It's still the same rules. You're still going to see pictures of a snapshot of a player's profile in Football Manager 24. That means that they're at the club that they start at on the default database with the latest update, I believe. So if a player has moved in real life, they will be at the club that they were at FM24 instead. Just always be mindful, and it does mean that they are a current player. So let's get into it. And we have on the first clue here, I can't see it. There we go. There it is. It's coming up. It's a right back. They're a kind of underwhelming right back. 2.5 stars. So the guess is already coming in. We've got Lee Hendry being guessed. Jonas Semabor. It has to be Jonas Semabor. Now that is a blast from the past. Has anyone thought about Jonas Semabor in the last 20 years? RJ, with the new team names as well, any excuse to get a little bit of Blue Neary out there? Is it Sardella? It is not Sardella. It's not Dest. It's not Emerson Royal either. I see that this might be the 2.5 stars might be a launching point for everyone just to slag off every right back that's out there. Matty Cash is like a 1-star right back in my head, even though he's clearly a good player. The record top scoring Polish player in Premier League history. You won't sing that either. Is it Obi-Wan-Bissaka? There's a nice. I feel that's a bit harsh on Bissaka. I like Bissaka. He's certainly not an attacking player, that's for sure. But good decent player. Ola Arna is Aina even has guessed Psychosis 0205. Welcome in, Psychosis. I hope you're doing well. Yonsa has guessed Sai Muroya. Oh, some fabulous guesses coming in here. Let's move it on and we go straight to attributes now. The polygon is gone. The polygon doesn't help anyone at all. So we've skipped past that. We brought the attributes forward. We'll have the scout report coming up next. But does this help at all? This is a player with remarkable balance. They're kind of okay. Like, they can tackle a little, they can mark a little, they can pass a little, they can cross a little, they can dribble a little. Nothing really stands out about them. But that's not a bad thing for a fullback. They're expected to do a lot of things. So if they can be a jack of all trades, maybe that's a decent way for it to be. So the guesses are now flooding in. Jed Spence says Gizmo Bob. Hakimi says Kwan. Semedo says Normie. Some fabulous guesses. It's none of those, I'm afraid. RJ has gone for Ahmad. Are you going for Ahmad Diallo there? I mean, he has been playing at wing back. I do see where you're going with that. It's not Ahmad. Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis is a fine guess. Is Rico Lewis a fine guess? Is he right-footed? I genuinely don't know. It might be is he? I think he's left-footed. I'm not sure. It's not anyway. Good evening, Adam. I hope you're well. Melina, Gusto, Yannick Dem, Frimpong, Zappa Costa. The Quez is right. He is calling out that numerical attributes is nonsense. I thought it was a little bit unfair with the attributes to have these hidden. Not everyone's going to play that style, and I think it's just to then have to explain it every time would be a bit confusing. This is my perfect. I have no idea who he is, but attributes are really strong and make him a solid option. They do indeed. They do. There are some other guesses that coming in. I will run through them in a second, but we are a little bit off at the moment. So let's move to the next one and see where we're going. So it's not Garnacho. It's not Dallo. It's definitely not Darwin Núñez. It's not Matteo Darmin. Fair comment that Lewis probably would be natural at defensive midfield. It's not Connor Bradley. That's a great guess though. Molina, Trippier, Ashley Young, Nahuel Molina's come in. Dumfries, Mohamed Salah. That would be a nice one. In the game, he's a natural right back. Is he now? Interesting. So Seamus Coleman. That's a nice guess. Unfortunately, we can see that they play now in he is a good Liga Portugal BetClick player. So it won't be Matt Doherty. It's not Jenny Catamo. We've got a player here who's got scope to improve. I think that's can get better by about half a star, maybe 1.5 stars. So we've got someone who's pretty decent there. And so there is a guess from Hung Do Min though. Hung Do Min, this is a beautiful moment. Now let me tell you, the last 2 or 3 streams, Hung Do Min has been about a second behind with the correct guess every single time. He gets it correct, but someone's just pipped him to the post. And so it genuinely gives me so much delight to say that it is indeed even Frajnada. Beautiful guessing there, Hung Do Min. That's 2 fine points. 2 very well-deserved points going your way. Genuinely makes me happy. So Mario was a guest. Hung Do Min is carrying on. I love Hung Do Min that you've been throwing in all these attacking players. You did Salah in there. You had Garnacho. You had Francesco Triscal. And then the one guess that's a serious one is right. Beautiful stuff. So RJ was stumped. Yonsa had gone for João Mario as well. Football Manager had gone for Coyote. El Norby has come through with even Fresneda as well. I'll have to look back on the VOD on that one, El Norby. I have a feeling you were pipped to it. But if it hadn't been confirmed by that point, I'll give you a point in retrospect. So that Knight of Knee says that he's been meaning to start a sporting save, and I think this is the prompt to do that now. Sporting a team I want to do for a Moneyball Clinic episode, but every time it comes to it, they're just kind of a bit too good already. They win the league in FM, so there's not really anything to fix.
It's not the statistics! You tell me! How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Adam. You do indeed spy a Shambosh. You did say you would, but my word, you really didn't need to. But, regardless of whether you needed to or not, let's just say a massive thank you to Adam. That's a gifted subscription to CNR08, to Ticker147, to Timmy Pimmy, to Harry Poppins Twitch, to Crazy Brit 46, to Fizzy FM, to Offshore Wasted, to Chris Dugong, to Burnlins, and to Tom Fromton. My word, you are an absolute legend. I need to have something. Oh, there is the thing at the top that shows the gift subs, which at least is good. Thank God for that. What an absolute star. And you are right, we do indeed have a Dylan Shambost. Our big money signing. He's on €900 a week. He's got a profile picture now. We've gone through all of our starting 11 now have pictures, I'm pleased to say. And he's okay. We had him at AC Moneyball, and he scored in the first couple of games for us, which meant that he was arguably the best player we ever had at AC Moneyball. So to get him in the Finnish division is quite something. Really, really quite something. So we've got high hopes, and he's going to be straight into the starting lineup. Well, he came off the bench in the last game, but with Skoglund now injured, Shambost, not even remotely fit, is straight into the lineup. And he has the number 10. The number 10, Adam, of course, which was vacated by, what was his name? Pridst? We had that goalkeeper on loan that we gave the number 10 to. But obviously on trial. Once his trial ended, the number 10 opened up for our long-faced boy here. Talking about long faces. So I went and did Queaton, and obviously I'm not particularly good at drawing, so there is that to bear in mind. But this man's eyes are the colour of piss. I joke you not. They are this really kind of almost translucent yellow, really, really quite worrying. So that's some information I discovered last night, and that you now know. So, only the Champions League, I guess. Only the Champions League, indeed. Adam is on a roll. He is. Adam is a veritable legend. So, Queaton gives Hoyland vibes a little bit. He does. I see what you're going for there. Neutral Normie says that threw me off. Understandable. So, here we are. We're playing up against TPS. We played them in the Cup. We beat them 5-3. No, 5-2. Where is it? 5-2. We beat them 5-2 at their place. But they finished top of the Liga Cup, didn't they? That group. They got knocked out in the semi-finals by Lahti, but they did actually finish ahead of us. So it's a newly promoted team. We should feel like we've got a good chance of winning this game. But they have shown that they are a little bit more capable than perhaps we gave them credit for initially. So it's pretty much our main lineup there. Borstrom is still recovering from injury. Savalainen is back from injury. These our attacking midfielders are injured, so I think this is pretty much our full strength team. I don't think that Shambost will make it all the way through the game, sadly. But he does get started. Oh, yes! Yes, this is the game with younger Jaskalainen. Ooh. He didn't have a great time against us. He made a couple of really good early saves and then had a bit of a nightmare thereafter. I think he dropped a cross at our striker's feet for one of them. Right, so we are going to say... stick to the plan. Let's be really straight and on the level. Nothing funky. And let's head in here. We are underway. So since Amron went to the UK, things haven't gone well. Are they struggling now? Oh, I haven't seen much of what they're up to at the moment. That's quite disappointing. So Jonsa, how are you feeling about England's qualification group? A pretty tasty fixture in Serbia versus Albania. I am surprised that it's okay for those two teams to be drawn against each other, considering there are a number of Balkan matchups that just aren't allowed. There we go, Shambos on his start. Adam, that one is for you. My word, how about that, Shambosh? Dahlstrom with the header on. Olawale gets the ball first. Pushes past his man, crosses it low. Shambost arrives beautifully in time to tuck that away with a side-footed first-time volley. Oh, that is sweet. Can TPS respond immediately, though? They send it long, but Riikonen claims. Riikonen, just don't do anything stupid, Riikonen. You've got a picture now, so this is your moment to establish yourself officially as the main man. Ajala feeds Olawale. Olawale turns and plays it into Shambos. Shambos scores again, because Dylan Shambos is far too good for this league. Evidently. 10 minutes into his full debut, And Dylan Shambos playing in that role behind the striker has made it 2-0. Olawale turns, feeds it into the path of Shambos, this time with his left foot high to the near post. Beautiful, beautiful finish. So, in terms of how do I feel about England's qualification group, I'll be honest, I'm not particularly bothered. I'm more excited to see that Greece have got Scotland again. That should be good. I think that's a tasty looking group. We should have a decent chance of getting out of that, which would be quite nice. They cross it in, we managed to get it clear. That's not a highlight. It has actually, momentum-wise, been all TPS, but Dahlstrom now, a beautiful turn to beat his player, then goes back and beats him again. Dahlstrom is just toying with them out here. Now the ball's over. Ajala with a first-time cross. Olawale, oh! Should have finished that off. El Norby says, I started your Pimienta video, then I realised you start your stream. I'm sorry, that is bad timing. That's one thing I do think I need to consider at some point, is that maybe trying to move the videos forward to a Thursday, so that we can have a little bit of time and a little bit of a gap. And I like to be able to respond to comments as well. And obviously, once I'm on stream, I can't really do that quite so well. Shambosh, says Adam. Shambosh, bish, bosh. Easy as that, says Neutral Normie. It's coming, and what a signing. Shambosh again. So Yonsa says it's only in UEFA where they are banned. I don't think FIFA have done that. Serbia versus Albania is one of the banned ones. It is crazy that that's restricted in one situation but not the other. So we can feel a little bit fortunate to be 2-0 up. We've had 5 shots, 3 on target, 2 of them are goals. Good quality chances, mind. And 1.22 XG from that is pretty good. TPS have had all of the ball and they've had 4 shots, so they're not very good quality, but we're perhaps a little bit flattered. And 2-0, as we know, is a pretty difficult scoreline to go with. So we've done some of these. We're going to go in with complacency. Shambos is unhappy in that. I will say you're playing well, though. We are going to drop the tempo. Just want a little bit more control of the game. Control of the ball if we can. We don't have counter on. We're still in the mid block, aren't we? We can keep them with most of the ball deep. I don't mind that. But let's just see if we can just see this out. And a third goal would be nice. But I have a feeling when we're 2-0 up, we do have a tendency to concede. So when we're 2-0 up at half time specifically. So here we go. Can they muster anything from the kickoff? It's gone all the way back to Jaskalainen. Wendin Thomason plays it down the line for Bostrom. And he runs off the pitch with it. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Olawale needs finishing lessons from Shambosh. He does indeed. The football is so good, says Hung Do Min. It's just so delightful. As we step in, Lundberg takes it away. He's able to feed Olawale's. Olawale's got a lot of work to do here, but he cuts in beautifully. And he fires high, but Jaskalainen pushes it over. There's a lovely, lovely cut back inside by Olawale, but he had the whole goal to aim for. Far too close to the keeper, who was able to push it over. So Olawale equals Ibra. Olawale is better than Ibra. I'm putting it out there. I am putting it out there. Is there a team in Finland that is renowned for youth development in real life? That's a question I might push over to you, Yonsa. So Yonsa over on YouTube, we have a question from Danny on Twitch. Is there a team in Finland that is renowned for youth development in real life? I don't know myself, but hopefully Yonsa can help us out there. Sir Websalot, the Welsh group is kind of tough. The Welsh group is tough. So pretty happy with that for the first 15 minutes in terms of control. Enquist is returning from injury, so he's going to be spared. We need to sub off Shambost at some point because this is his first game, first full start. But he's on a hat-trick, man. He's on a hat-trick. Feels bad. As Queetonen gets it clear, Sager picks the ball up. Sager pushes past his man, swings in the cross. It's low, it's deflected. Riikonen pushes it away, and Ajala is able to come away with the ball. We got off a little bit lucky there. It has been all us in terms of momentum, but nothing to trouble the score sheet yet in this second half. Can that change now? Dahlstrom into Lundberg, hits the bar, clawed away by TPS. Shambos recycles now. Savalainen, and that's the end of the highlight. Right. Few moments left. This is time to bring in a couple of the youngsters. So, Slayman, I want them to come on before the 75th minute, I think is what people said. They need to play for more than 15 minutes for development's sake. Then we'll bring Larson on for Olawale and Juhi on for Shambos. And we'll tell them that we've got faith in them. Hey, your new video was really good. More of that style. It was perfect. Thank you very much, boys. I really, really enjoyed putting that one together. I think it's I know it's very unbecoming to Reekinen pushes that over there to be too enthusiastic about your own work, and I'm usually not. I'm usually quite critical of the things I do. It's often a compromise, but I love this as a topic. I think it's just really, really, really interesting to see stuff that tactically maybe is just a little bit different to what has been done before by other managers, to explore that, and to see tactics that work to a varying degree inside FM as well. Being able to see something that makes a poor team mid-table or makes a good team not quite good enough. I think it's really interesting to see how the application of those ideas can be viable, but not unrealistic at the same time. Kwan, sorry, I've missed that. Take the ball home. We'll take the points. Indeed, we will just take the points. Don't even bother with the second half. And to be fair, it's been a little bit like nobody has bothered with the second half. It's going to peter out. It stayed 2-0. That's a really, really good thing as far as I'm concerned. Maybe just that one tweak of dropping the tempo in the second half is what we need to do in future games at 2-0 up. Warn them against complacency. Drop the tempo. That's the theory, at least. So that's a pretty good way to start the stream, and you know what that means. Oh, there we go. The perfect way to kick off the stream. That is some glorious, glorious stuff. Now let's see if I can remember how to get this back to the right thing. There we go. 2-0. Let's tell the guys that we are happy with them. That's as good as the perfect win. Nice. Raced out to an early lead. Controlled it from there on in. Dylan Shambos, 2 goals in the space of a minute. Space of one single minute. How about that? And yet, Olawale with his 2 assists is the man who gets the man of the match. How unfair. Right, so we got to be pleased with that. He prefers Dylan Shambos to Alexis McAllister. A bold claim, and there is something quite amusing about Daniel Sherlin choosing a Liverpool player as the comparison point there. That is some wonderful stuff. Our next game up is against Lahti, the team we beat in the Liga Cup final. Another home game as well, so that should be quite favourable. Right. What's the camera angle? Asks Poised. I believe it is just camera zoomed in and about a third height. I think it's the default height. See if they can muster anything from kickoff. Self-aware humour at its finest. I wish it was deliberate. Muster is just a word that sits in my vocabulary a lot. And every time I say it, I think, oh God, I've said that. But yes, absolutely. So how's Willie Nunes getting on at Kokkola? He's yet to play. I don't know if the league's actually started yet. We're only 2 games in ourselves. So Vangelis is in. Hello to everyone. Musterman and chat. Good evening, Vangelis. How are you, sir? How are you? So is this Olawale or Jackson Martinez? Guess we'll never know. He's in fine. There will be stories written about Olawale. The man who was stupidly converted to a right back by the manager until his assistant manager said, look, he's a striker. Just play him as a striker, man. And then his career took off. I think he had 4 goals, was his highest scoring season before we came in. Let's have a look, actually. Olawale. 6. Oh no, he scored 9 goals in Serie D. back in 2018-19. And then he scored 6 goals on loan at Mariehamn back in 2021. Then he signed for an undisclosed fee and he scored 3 goals in 21 games. And now he is tearing it up. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful stuff. Jason is in. Kalispera. Good evening, Twitch and YouTube chat. Hope everyone is doing very well tonight. Much love to all your loved ones also. How very, very kind. Much love to you and your loved ones as well, Jason. How are you this evening? So, Yonsa has replied on the Youth Academy side of things. So, probably the first one that comes to mind for me is Capilan Parlo, or Kappa for short. Produced some real quality players over the years. Let's see if, are they... Kappa for short, this one here. So they're in the first division now. They've won the Kakkonen, managed by Sami Okkonen. Let's have a look here. They finished 3rd in the first division last year, and that's obviously there's a big change. I don't know what's going on with the league history here. That's a weirdly truncated graph. But maybe a team that we need to keep an eye on. Have a look and see. They do seem to have quite a young squad. We're looking here. We've got a lot of 17, 18, 19-year-olds. We've got one 28-year-old, one 23-year-old, and then everyone else is 21 or younger. So that might be a team for us to keep an eye on for some prospects that we might look to poach. So nickname 123321 says, thoughts on the form of Man City? Did he throw the water bottle on too many times? Quite possibly. I think so. I've only really seen one full game during this barren run they're having, which was against Liverpool. And I noticed that they essentially refused to pass the ball to Kyle Walker, which meant that they had to build up on the left. It made their attacking play really one-dimensional, really easy for Liverpool to kind of control them, push them into an area, make it really difficult for them to get out of that area. And they knew that the only person they had to guard against the switch was whoever's playing right wing, because Kyle Walker is not trusted at all. So I think that a combination of some of their personnel issues, the loss of Rodri, looks like it's derailing them quite hard. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the January transfer window. Because yes, they need a replacement for Rodri, but also if Rodri's going to be back in 6 months' time, do you spend big bucks chasing the best player you possibly can when they might well not be a first-team starter only a short way down the line? So it'll be interesting to see. Adam says the dance will always be entertaining, but the fact it's ever so slightly out of time just makes it for me. I really need to hook up the wired headphones. So that I don't have that. Way! There we go. Olawale has signed his new contract at €1,000 per week. That's almost doubled his wages. That's put us $1,000 a week over our wage budget. But it does mean that we have Mohamed Tehi Olawale tied down for the next 2.5 years, which is huge. Huge for us. Better than the Champions League anthem, says El Norby. My word. Adams redeemed only Connect, he says, for whenever. Well, what we're going to, if you're cool with that, then we'll do that out of the next break, which I think is like about 20 minutes or so away. I have no commitment for how long this stream is going to be, but I'd love us to get to the halfway point in the league. That would mean another 9 league games in one evening, which is very, very unlikely at the pace I go for. So, you know, maybe this ends up being a semi-long stream tonight. We'll see how it goes. So spacing it out might help. Rich Sun is in. Good evening. I'm good, sir. How are you? So Jason says, just chilling and learning while watching the stream. Everyone's doing well. That's great to hear. Man City took a leaf out of Russell Martin's book, says Crablungs. Well, that's a really, really apt comparison, to be fair, because what we've seen quite a bit with teams like Southampton, like with Burnley, and so at times Swansea, in the past at least, is teams that have tried to emulate certain aspects of that positional play approach where it's very, very ball dominant. It's about circulation and not having the invasiveness to be able to get in behind opposition defences. So we've seen the blueprint many a times of what it looks like when it goes wrong for a team. And so for Man City to now struggle to be able to create chances themselves, we are almost seeing them turn into a Southampton or Burnley, which is a bold situation to be in. We are absolutely staying unchanged for this game. Come on then, let's make it 2-2 tonight. Brazilian Fury is in. Good evening, Brazilian. How are you doing, sir? I hope you are well. Let's just do a little thingy-majiggy here like that. Boom, we've got it done correctly. Go give Brazilian Fury a follow if you're not already. In fact, close this stream, open up YouTube, search Brazilian Fury on YouTube and go and subscribe to him over there because, like, absolutely fantastic videos. Of course, if you haven't already, if you are already subscribed to him on YouTube, don't leave the stream. Don't leave the stream. That's really bad advice. Yeah, how you doing, man? I hope you're doing well. So Yonsa says about Qatar, they are a team who are more focused on the development of young players rather than going for glory in the men's game. If I'm not completely wrong, their best players went to Honka before their bankruptcy. Fair enough. Right, what we're going to say to these guys, we're going to pump fists and talk about the fans. They don't care about the fans. They just care about Numa. Right, we beat them 2-0 already this season. Is this a chance for FC Lahti to get revenge? These games have, in general speaking, I think they've been quite high scoring. There's been a 5-2 or a 5-3. There's been a 3-1. So we've had some good games there as Shambos sends it in, headed over. An early chance inside the 4 minutes. Oluwayemi sends it long. We get our head to the ball, but that's gone straight back to the defence. Towernan now plays it out to Ivanovic. He's forced back and there's Lundberg. He steps inside. Lundberg! Oh, Oluwayemi stays tall. That was a massive chance. It was on his wrong foot. He maybe should have switched it over to his left. He had time. Then bent it into the far post, perhaps. Now Shambos forced another save. Can he build on his amazing debut? Mariehamn keep winning. We do indeed. So regarding City, does anybody else think, as Rich Sun does, the verdict on their financial alleged misdemeanors is going to go badly, and this has unsettled the team? That's possible. I think it's difficult if the team are projecting outward confidence internally that they're going to win. You'd wonder if it does actually have an impact, or whether that can kind of create that siege mentality that we often associate with big teams, as they unnecessarily. Well, maybe that's it. You'll often see big teams talk about siege mentality, and they've had to manufacture that siege mentality. And now they've got it in real life. They can't actually replicate the same kind of psychological responses. So 20 minutes in, it's still 0-0 here. We look to build up from deep into Lundberg. Lundberg can play across to Dahlstrom, in early to Olawale. He turns and finds Ajala. Ajala pushes past his man, now drills it in. There we go, Lundberg at the far post. Another good save from Oluwayemi. Oluwayemi is having the game of his life so far. Dahlstrom will stand over this one. Crosses it into the near post, not enough on it, and that's easily cleared by Lahti. So it's easy to understand why players don't trust Walker recently. Absolutely. Crablung says never go full Southampton. That's a fair claim. Oh hey, you have Shambos on the roster. He was a lovely player and you're not serious. Hertzy forces a great save from Riikonen. Riikonen is a man possessed since we brought in a backup. Riikonen is back to his best. What a great save. He was a lovely player in your not series earlier during the FM24 cycle. I completely forgot that you had Shambos. We had him at AC Moneyball as well. He's not done a bad job scoring twice on his full debut. And Adam did indeed bully me into that signing. So Rich says, I suspect there's a point of diminishing returns, spending on legal teams, EPL, many warts and all. have been taking this on, and they'll have top barristers too. A lot at stake for the EPL here. There is indeed. There's also a lot on. There's not much on stake for Olawale there. That's a rubbish segue because he was offside. Don't get me excited like that, you tease. Yeah, absolutely. I think though. So legal matters are generally speaking quite heavily weighted towards defendants, as long as the defendants have good lawyers. So I think it's going to be quite difficult for the Premier League to win outright. But there might be small victories along the way. When you've got 115, or I think someone was reporting it's now up to 131 charges, you're probably doing so in the hope that maybe 10, 15, 20 of them stick. I'd be surprised if the EPL think they're going to get them on all those 115. So Pep is going full rapper, completely cracking up, needs a rebuild but refuses to get his boots and trowel out. Too stubborn. His signings over the past 2 years have been abysmal. Now, I think in terms of it, looks like they're keen for the rebuild at least. Shambos has reacted quite poorly to both team talk so far. I don't mind the rating too much. We do mind though that we aren't really making much headway there. So I think we're just going to push Dahlstrom up to Volante. Let's just have another player who joins and pushes the opposition defence a little bit, but not completely. Doesn't need to go over the top. We don't want to overcommit and get caught on the counter attack. So we'll see how that goes for the first few moments in the second half. So poised once again, as I said earlier, it's TV, full zoom, 1/4 height. So Fizzy, thank you so much for the sub. Was not here, but still thank you so much. Adam's been an absolute gentleman. He bullied us into buying Shambosh, and in return he gave out 10 gift subs at the beginning of the stream. What a mad lad. I don't think I've ever called anyone a mad lad before either. It felt a little bit weird to say, but it does apply. An absolute diamond. Good thing Pep is staying for another year. It's going to really be interesting to see him rebuild and see what happens there. As Lundberg heads over, it's another chance gone begging. I think Lundberg's going to be the first to make way. Maybe young Jimmy Slayman will come on. Which also makes me think they're looking bad for them. They can't do a squad refresh, and the sale of Alvarez, who is tearing up La Liga, is telling. So, like the sale of Alvarez, I think is more just a case of they can't give him the first team football, as we've been hit on the counter. An absolute sucker punch. Oh man, come on. So it's a clearance from Machado. Ivanovic picked up the ball on the left. He beat Dahlstrom very nicely into Koskinen. 3 players gather towards him, leaving Lopez free. It's a first-time strike into the far corner. A lovely, lovely finish. But that is very much a kick in the teeth. So, ball goes forward long. And Machado makes the interception. If they were about to score a second immediately, that would have been quite right. Shambos now. Chance, he tries to hit it early, but Olawale can't get onto the end of that properly. He had to head it. There was no one in support. Is this still a highlight? I suppose there hasn't actually been anything in this highlight yet. So Olawale now loses the ball. Bit sloppy for him there. Ivanovic plays it in. Kabashi coming forwards. Oh, this is the team of the 2 Kabashis. Hertzy's shot is a little bit unconvincing. Got underneath it a bit there. Another highlight straight away. Have we imploded? It's Koskinen coming forward. Are we going to make a challenge? No, we're not going to make a challenge. Here's Lopez narrowly wide. Actually, it came off Reitnen. This is bad football. We're going full out berate here. That has been just wave after wave of some very, very passive defending. As Kabashi gets the head up, hits Olawale, who's standing on the post. It's another corner. Here comes the shout now. It should have taken effect, so we should concede almost immediately. Dahlstrom can clear it. Yes, he can. So Queaton and Dahlstrom. No, we can't. It's just... Right, this is madness. This is absolutely crazy how they've suddenly turned into whatever they've turned into. Kabashi from distance hits the bar. Hertzy can't quite get there. We get it clear. Olawale. Can he carry? He can. Now here's Shambost. Just be patient. Play it out to Enquist. Enquist hasn't really done anything this game. He gets tackled. Why isn't this highlight ending? Reitinen into Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom has space. He can play that forward to Olawale at any time. He plays it now. Olawale's first touch gets him in behind. It doesn't though. Ajala takes his shot. Olawayemi yet again makes the save. And here come the changes. So, Enquist has done very, very little. Olawale, he's been involved. Lundberg has headed it over. Shambost has been involved. But we're going for a triple. We're going. Oh no! I need Slame. I need Lundberg on the left because he's left-footed. Or I prefer Lundberg on the left because he's left-footed. We're going to make him an attacking midfielder. We're going to make him a defensive midfielder again. We're lacking some of those options for linking play, so we'll look to play a little bit more direct now. See if we can get it into one of our big men, then push forwards from there. Enquist hasn't beaten his man at any point this game, so on can come Savalainen. And let's see. See if that change from a defensive midfielder to Volante was what pulled us apart in the second half there. When is the verdict, says Tatsugiri. I think they're saying they don't expect it until March as we go close once again, but we can't get our headers on target today. I'm okay with mad lad, says Adam. Good to hear. You mad lad. In the spring, whatever that means, and then they can appeal, indeed. Talking of cameras. Oh, Olawale. No, not good. Am I right thinking you support the campaign to bring touchline/dugout camera in? It's a must for me. We are managers. Give us the option to view the game as a manager. Absolutely. So when I play normally, so at home on my own, Lundberg, there we go. Finally. All it took was 732 crosses and eventually one of our big men score. It's Lundberg. Proper Route 1 stuff now. Dahlstrom takes it outside. Gets the cross in. Lots of spin on that ball. Lundberg doesn't even need to jump for it. He's able to power his head at it. Ugh. I can't do that too forcefully. I'd probably actually hurt my neck. And we are now level. That is a relief at the very least. But it has petered off. Nothing much has happened in the last few minutes. 10 minutes without anything. Let's fire up into the last 15. Have we fired up the opposition instead, though, potentially? Lundberg's forced to go back to Kuitunen. Kuitunen has some time, plays it inside to Reitinen. Reitinen waiting, hoping that Lahti will come onto them. No one is making it from there. And Kuitunen just hoofs it away. I think Kuitinen's about to come off because there is absolutely zero reason for him to do that. But it's a poor clearance from Olawayemi. Now here's Ajala. Ajala, can he get past his man and he can whip it in? Lundberg again at the far post. He can't get enough power onto it this time. And Olawayemi gathers. The change is coming. Forstrom on. Olawale is going to be replaced by Larson. And then we're going to push the mentality up just a little. The defending is world class. So quote of the day, I'd take Ange at West Ham. That's fair. That is fair. I do need to at some point talk about Ange and his hypocrisy this week though. It is quite a beautiful thing in some respects. Just going to drop back down to positive. Nothing good came of going to attacking there. Nothing bad came of it, but... And the last change is going to be Juhi on, Ajala off. And we'll shift Dahlstrom out wide. His cross ultimately is what got us back to 1-1. Last few moments. Do we get a minute of demand more? No, here we go. 5 minutes of 5 minutes injury time have gone. This is just a matter of time before the ref blows his whistle. It's 2 points dropped. There is absolutely no doubt about that. That is 2 points dropped. 19 shots, 2.10 XG, but we could only score 1 goal. But coming back from 1-0 down, there's always better that we've managed to rescue a point than had to surrender completely. But that was a very, very, very disappointing result there. That does put us top of the table though. Shambos 6.3, Shambos 6.3 indeed. So I think that what I learned from Monday night's stream is that if the trequartista doesn't score, he gets a bad rating. And as long as they're involved, I don't mind. So like, as I mentioned at half-time, we've seen Shambost involved. We've seen him playing passes forwards. Sometimes it looks like he passes the ball forwards a bit too early, which does seem to be a feature of the trequartista. So I'm going to just add hold-up ball. I find that sometimes helps them just kind of calm down a little bit. See if he's got enough technical quality to work with that and hold on to the ball a little bit longer. But I don't mind as long as they're getting involved. They can have bad ratings until we're 1-0 down and we need to throw everyone up front. So if the guy who was asking for some youth-based Finland saves is still in there, GBK could be a fun save, as they host the biggest youth tournament in Finland. They're sadly not in Vanilla FM though. Fair enough. Do you know of a database that has them though, Johnson? If they do, feel free to pop that in the chat over on YouTube, and then anyone who's looking for it can pop on over and they can grab it that way perhaps, and I can pick it up and put it in. In fact, that's a bad suggestion. The microphone is peaking quite a bit. Let me just turn this down a bit more. Is that better for you guys in terms of the audio? I've just turned the mic down. Has it been distorting quite a bit this evening? OBS is now showing me what's going on, which is nice. Yeah, so Jonsa, don't put it in YouTube. Head on over to the Discord if you're not in there already. There is a link in the description on the video. And if there is a database with GBK in it, pop that in the Discord. I think that'd be really, really useful for anyone that is interested. Neutral Normie said March followed by appeal, so I think this rolls over into next season. Indeed, quite possibly. I think it does. Let's put these guys on rest. And the unbeaten run continues. It does indeed. It does indeed. And it has come to this point at a very, very nice moment, because we are just about to head into a break. So, for any guys who are new here or who haven't been in a stream before, when the ad break comes, now a lot of people in chat will be subscribed, so they're not necessarily going to see the ads, but I need the ads myself so that I go and take a little break. I'm going to get up, stretch my legs, grab another drink and so forth. Just take a few minutes and they'll see you back. Generally speaking, it is about 3, maybe 4 minutes. And once we come out of it, we've got a couple of little mini games to play. So we've got a round of Only Connect and Guess the Player coming up. So I'll see you in a few moments. And we're back. So, whilst we're on a break, Jonsa did say that there used to be a lower league Finland database in FM23, but not sure if there's one for this year's game, so that's fair. And it also mentions that, so Plays on Epic Games is used to using the files there. He Plays on Epic Games is wondering if it's possible to get Steam Workshop subscriptions as a file. I actually genuinely not 100% certain. I have a feeling that with skins at least, it usually downloads an FMF file into your Sports Interactive folder, which you can then extract using the resource archiver. I don't know if it works exactly the same with Epic. Well, you'd be taking it from Steam, wouldn't it? You'd need to download it from Steam and have it running on Steam to begin with, potentially. But then if you can ask someone who does that, then they can send the file across to you. In theory, it should be possible, I think, but I'm not 100% certain. Anyway, yes, it's time for Only Connect. And as I said, it's the end of the week. So we've gone for, I wouldn't necessarily call them difficult, just something a little bit more challenging perhaps than usual. If you haven't been here before, I'll tell you how it works. You're going to see 4 pictures of footballers, one after the other. They all share a common connection. Your job is to guess what that connection is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. The more points you get, and you end up on that lovely little scoreboard down there. So we run a scoreboard for the week. We also have a scoreboard for all time as well. So we've been doing this a couple of weeks, and it's changing every stream, the all-time scoreboard, which is absolutely marvelous to see. So let's head on and see the first clue. Also, by the way, BB Tom 10, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. Do let me know, who you support, who you're playing in FM. Only, of course, if you want to. Feel no obligation to chat whatsoever. So our very first clue up here, and this is where we start to think about how hard it might be, because can anybody identify who on earth that man with Bimbo written across his chest is? Doing some weird, crazy, like a pre-dab era snake type thing. I'm a big fan of whatever that is. So RJ doesn't know, but Crab Lungs and Johnny Trotter do. It is indeed Blanco, and he's gone for Kalmuck Blanco, which to be perfectly honest with you, I think is as close to spelling it as I would have got. It is Quatamelco, exactly. It is Blanco. So Root is in. Good evening, Root. How are you doing, sir? Vanglis has gone for Quackimot as well. Yes, it's that gentleman. That one whose name I am never ever going to be able to pronounce correctly. Neutral Normie guessed at Donovan. It does look quite a bit like Donovan. I do see where you're going there. So can we? It doesn't seem like anyone's being able to think of any particular thing that could be a link. So let's move to the next one and see if the second player, in combination with Blanco, might give you an idea as to what the connection might be. So do we have any thoughts on who this Swansea player might be? The Root says, isn't that Blanco who done the jump in the World Cup? Is indeed. That is the one and very, very same person. So Tatsugiri says, names are all colours. We did that last week, didn't we? Actually, that's a good point. Blanco is a colour. It is white. It's not that, but that's a good guess. So all I know about Blanco is that he was in FIFA Street. Was he in FIFA Street because of that move? So RJ, second, he doesn't know. So they've invented moves named after themselves, says Johnny Trotter. The Blanco Bean Hop. So he has indeed. That's Yannick Bolasie. Yannick Bolasie invented the Bolasie flick. And that's Garincha. Garincha did the Garincha turn. Of course, that's not the most famous turn there is. Obviously, Johan Cruyff has the famousest of turns, which does indeed mean that there are moves named after themselves. The Blanco hop, the Bolasie flick, the Garincha turn, the Cruyff turn. A sensational 3 points to Johnny Trotter. Give that man a round of applause. The Cruf turn. Well noticed, RJ. Yeah, the U button on my keyboard seems to be being a little bit playing up, and I evidently didn't notice it hadn't gone through. I'm going to start calling him Crif from now on. Damn well played, says Tatsugiri. Absolutely. So fast, Johnny Speedy. That's sensational work. That's why Johnny Trotter is here. Johnny is a man of knowledge. That's some fantastic work. So Hell Norby calls him Guacamole Blanco. That at least guacamole is a word I can pronounce. Although someone's probably going to correct me on that at some point. Quatamako, good player, lovely. That lovely little trick that he did at the World Cup, was it 2008? 2008 was the Euros, wasn't it? So it was 2010 or 2006. Absolutely beautiful. No one expected it. That's what makes it so wonderful. Right. My screen has stopped flickering, which is good news for me. So looks like there might be some issues with the firmware for the monitor, which will be something to have to fix. But it seems to be okay now. But I am concerned about whether the changes there might cause anything. So again, as I mentioned at the top of the stream, if there are any issues, please do let me know. I'd be much appreciated. Great play, Johnny Trotter, says Vangelis. Indeed it is. Right, we've got a cup game against a reserve side. Interesting. So there's that Palasuera reserves, I believe. It is the Nokian Palasuera reserves. Obviously, Nokia being a Finnish company, that does make sense, and this does mean we can start to give some of our other players a little bit of game time. So we will go with Larson getting the start. We will have Juhi come in for Dahlstrom. Savalainen will get the start for Ojala. Forsström will get the start for Kuitunen. And Lasse Schultz will make his debut. Lasse Schultz on the bench there. Rockman, we will rest Dahlstrom and Olawale entirely. Okereke will need to come on. Skoglund, Rockman, Slayman will need to come on. Pardon me. Hopefully we can get up to an early lead, bring Lundberg off early, bring Slayman on early as well. So that's my thinking, at least. I bet their players are a lot more mobile than ours. Quite possibly. Play your backups in the cup. Absolutely. Has he played a game yet? Willie Nunes has played 20 minutes of football so far. Can he get those 10 goals in a season? Tale of the Tape says it's Quautemok. But there we go. Quautemok Blanco. Quautemok Blanco. A fantastic name, a fantastic player, a truly elegant hop. So BB Tom says, what is the aim of this save? Win games. As simple as that. I don't tend to do no, that's not true. If I've got something that's like a specific time scale, we're looking to do something for a single season, or we might have an aim. But I'd much rather let the game dictate the narrative. So if it turns out that we end up on some kind of journeyman adventure, because that's what happens, we get offered jobs at different teams and it kind of naturally works its way, that's what happens. If we end up turning Mariehamn into a dominant force and we start to look towards becoming like European champions and actually lifting the whole of Finnish football up with us, then maybe it becomes a build a nation save, and so forth. So we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. Let that naturally develop. Here we are into the cup. We got to the semi-finals of this competition last year, the Swarman Cup. We did struggle though. I think we had a number of like 3-2 wins against third division sides in the early rounds. Quite narrow wins against teams we should have really been dispatching otherwise. And here we are up against the Palasuera reserves. They have a new gen in their starting lineup. So that might be somebody we want to keep an eye on, because if it's even at reserves level, if he's getting into the starting lineup already, maybe he's not too bad for the level he's playing at. Just win, baby, says Johnny Trotter. Exactly. So Sunderland are on the verge of rewriting history. One win away from the old First Division title in 1968. At home to Leicester with some guy called Gordon Banks in goal. Wish us luck. Oh, now that's interesting. That is interesting. I've never heard of this Gordon Banks for the fellow though, so it should be pretty easy to score against him. Probably destined for nothing. Credit to the mad scientist for the 1966-67 database. It is. Now, I'll be honest. I was going to say it's brilliant. It's not for me, the 1966-67 one. Shambos makes it 1-0. Woo! I'm not sure I agree with the statement there that it was a brilliant goal. The goalkeeper spilled it onto Shambos' head, and that gave us the lead. I don't know if Shambos knew anything about it whatsoever. Oh no, he did head for it. To be fair. So yeah, the 1960s aren't really a great era for Villa, and I am definitely guilty of playing those retro databases to relive those Villa glory days. I'm loving the 95 database currently. Us managed by Ron Atkinson, like 73 different strikers, nobody who can play out wide whatsoever. Such fun. Such wonderful fun. And all the work that the mad scientist does is absolutely incredible. So even though the 1967 one isn't necessarily for me, I imagine it's got to be good quality, because it always is. He is so good with his attention to detail. Shambosh, says Adam, and Shambosh now has an assist. He sets up Reitman at the corner. And I was too busy talking and reading chat that I didn't actually see it go in. So Shambosh into the far post. Reitman, pretty straightforward. Beautiful stuff. Oi, the opposition team has a Vietnamese player. Hello, says Hank. Dovan Kwang. Yes, so that was the new gen I was talking about. The fact they've got a new gen already in the team in the second season means that we're probably going to take a look at him after this game. Game has happened as well. Sorry for being late. I just had an interview. No apology necessary, Hank. How did the interview go? Is that for another residency? I take it. Is that? I have so many questions. I'll let you answer the first ones first, and then I'll ask the next. So Castanis Vangelis says particularly easy to score headers against him. Yes, quite famously. Gordon Banks rubbish at saving headers. So Krugs, those player stats along the bottom bar are awesome. Thank you. They're okay. Unfortunately, there's really limited stats that you're able to get hold of, which is a bit weird. So we're able to get. There's the cross to the far post. Ooh. We were able to get expected assists and expected goals. We weren't able to get key passes, which would have been really useful. As Shambos sets up another for Reitman. There's a combination we've seen already once. It's 3-0, 10 minutes gone. This is pretty much over already. We should be able to make those substitutions at half-time without any concern whatsoever. So Hank says, yeah, as for one of my top spots for residency, went well, I think. Marvellous. So is it something that's going to be, is it local? Well, relatively, or potentially having to cross state lines if you get it. Hi, Sandpiper is in. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Whatever time of day it is, you are here just in time to hear Adam Larson. Adam Larson. That's 4-0. This is definitely not worth watching on extended. Let's pop it down onto key highlights. Let's get the game wrapped up as soon as we can. The perfect tonic to the disappointing draw last time out. So 1966-7 has been out since FM19, but had a recent conversion to FM24. Only playing it now because if playing as Sunderland, I need to be able to use in-game editor if I need to fix things. That's fair. Sometimes I make players worse. I don't cheat. You can use the in-game editor however you like, sir. I suppose in some respects, making players worse is also cheating. As Yuhi gets his first goal for the club, that is quite a nice finish into the top corner, floated past the outstretched hands of Yusela. So Shambos with the free kick into the wall. Savalainen is the one who gathers it. Plays it across you. He just stood still, waited for it to come, and then curls it into the far corner. Sweet, sweet finish. Hank, yeah, it's for a place that's in my state and pretty close to my parents. Perfect. Perfect. El Norby says there's only one Dylan Shambost. One Dylan Shambost walking along, singing the song, walking in the Shambost Wonderland. Beautiful stuff. We need a song with, we need Jimmy Slayman on. Slayman, are you listening? Yeah, we've got all the Winter Wonderland references that we can squeeze in. All 2 of them. What is happening? What is happening? To be fair, we are playing against a reserve side in a cup, as Shambos makes it 6-0. These were the games that we struggled with last season, true, but my word, this is unfortunately just getting a little bit out of hand now. Like, come on, stop it. They're already dead. There we go, a simple cross in, Shambos at the near post. Usula doesn't even bother trying. The keeper's just like, yeah, go on, I don't care anymore, it's 6-0. I love some duck sauce, says El Norby. Duck sauce do not love us doing this, though. They keep on hitting it with a copyright thingy what's it, so I have to cut it out of the VODs afterwards. Amazing how this is different to Moneyball AC. It is, it's night and day. It's amazing what difference it can make when you have a higher tempo and a lot more pressing going on, and you're not regrouping. But we could get there. Maybe a few years down the save, we can go to the mega ball dominant, non-chance creating wonderland that was Moneyball AC. So I think in 98-99, Kevin Phillips' jumping reach of 15. Mad Scientist is right to use it as its historical recreation, but in reality it'd be about 7. He was tiny. At the time, I think understanding of attributes wasn't consistent. So, in the past, jumping reach was just jumping, I seem to recall. And it meant something different in older, especially in the Championship Manager days, which I think is worth keeping a mind of. And there were also some attributes that just didn't exist in the old games. And some that did exist in the old games that don't exist now. So there's always going to be a few little weird idiosyncrasies here and there. Right, we can make the changes now. And those changes, we're getting on... Oh, Akerake will come on for Fonsell. Skoglund on for Shambost. Brockman on for Savalainen. So 4 changes at half-time. They're the other reserve players we wanted to get some game time. So they almost certainly don't care. They're all uninterested. But I'm going to tell them that I want them to perform. And they will stay uninterested. What a surprise that is. I.e. Kevin Phillips does jump well, but he's not going to beat Tony Adams of that era. No, he's not really, is he? I suppose if he gets like a little step ladder, lays it out, like if the cross is perfect, right? And he's put that step ladder on the pitch ahead of time, with a little bit of a run up, as Skoglund scores, like their goalkeeper has given up now. Their goalkeeper doesn't even care. That was straight at him, pretty tame from fully 25-30 yards. But it is a goal for Skoglund, 25 yards, easy save for the keeper, easy save, spilled into the back of his net. So with a step ladder and a run up, I think he could, just about. Shambosh going for a record club win. It's going to be interesting to see what our record is in that respect. So El Norby says, boo the copyright claim. Indeed, boo to Duck Sauce over what is something like 5 seconds of noise, with me saying Adam Larson over the top. Right, here we go. It's going to be Skoglund from the spot to make it 8-0, but Ursula saves. It was a tame penalty. And Skoglund is already tanking his wonderful average rating with that miss. Reitenen's on a hat-trick as well, isn't he? We should probably have selected that, because it would be nice for a centre-back to get a hat-trick. You are beating a dead horse. We are indeed. We are. But can they get a goal back? Hognabba takes aim from distance. It's unfortunately clips the top of the netting. Never really dangerous. Quite a beating indeed. Unlike others on YouTube says, you remember Championship Manager 98, 99, when there were a few very cheap players like Peter Prosper from Trinidad and Rogerio, cost only 200k or so. There are so many bargains. Over the years, the old Championship Manager games as well. Adam Larson. Adam Larson. Adam Larson. There we go. So I've kind of lost track of what the score is. Is that 9 or is that 8? 8 because we missed the penalty. Into the last 10 minutes. The last change that we're going to make will be... Enquist still isn't quite at full fitness. We'll bring off one of the defenders. That can be Machado because Whiten is on a hat-trick. I trust you to make the difference, Queetonen. You will make the difference between 8-0 and 9-0. And that will be all that matters. Yeah, so many bargains back in the old Champ Managers, but obviously the market was also very different then. There's a huge difference between the record transfer fee being £15 million and £197 million or whatever. So nowadays your £200,000 strikers are actually like your £200,000 players are now like a minimum of about 5 million, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy stuff. I played it a few months ago, so I still have 98, 99 and 03, 04 on this PC. Games that I like to play when sometimes you just need to switch off a little bit, have something a bit more relaxing, a bit less involved than Football Manager is nowadays. Here's the cross in, Larson for the hat-trick. Larson has the hat-trick. No, he doesn't. Boo. Dovan Kwong plays it back. Is this a chance for a consolation goal? Come on, Palasuera reserves. I want you guys to score. Savalainen back to Koppinen, out to Dovan Kwong. It's a nice cross. Queetonen is there. Hagblom sends it in a second time. Schultz claims. That's disappointing. Just give him a goal. Just give him a goal. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. DM Bassist. Hello, sir. How was the flight? Lovely to see you in. And also, what on earth are you doing in? You're on holiday. Turn this off this moment. Hope you're having a great time, says Adam. Chesh, says Johnny. Absolutely, it is lovely to see you here. Have you settled on going to the game tomorrow? That's the important question. We are not going to play a celebration song after beating a reserve team 8-0. We have class. Right? So how are things going in the second season internationally? Arminio, welcome in, sir. We are only a couple of games in. We've won 2. We've drawn 1 in the league. That puts us second just behind Ilves. We've just demolished a lower league opposition in the cup, 8-0. We are about to see whether that is our record win or not. We've won the Liga Cup as well, so we're doing quite well. Things seem to be quite positive here. Let's have a look at record results. Our biggest win is in fact 8-0. That is a new record. How about that? We might need to look up to see whether that's actually accurate. I'm never 100% certain they've got everything recorded in this regard. So Daniel Rockman picked up an injury. He's just back from injury. He came on for a half. He got another injury. Marvellous stuff. And it is saying that he is fairly susceptible to injuries. That's evidently true. That is evidently true. So DM Basis delayed by 3 hours. It was an absolute nightmare, but we're here now. Oh, that is awful. That is not how you want the weekend to start. Oh, pardon me. No game tomorrow. Not helped by tonight's delays, but such is life. Yeah, I mean that's completely understandable. And you've lost 3 hours of the holiday, so tomorrow is going to be a good chance to catch up on the things that you wanted to do. I'm really sorry. So enjoy the rest of the stream. I'll maybe get to check back in tomorrow. Well, I hope you don't. I hope you've got an action-packed weekend. That means that you don't even think about the stream until you're back. But yes, have a wonderful time, my dude. Who did they knock out? Ulu have been knocked out. That's the only bit of news. I should have probably done this bit first. No one's particularly knackered after that game, to be fair. But we just like to have it all managed a little bit, make sure they're all nice and fresh as we go on. So I did notice there was a guest the player redeemed by Hung Min, by the way. I didn't forget about it. You do want me to check the profile? Indeed, we shall. The only problem we're going to have with checking the... Oh. There we go. Is because we don't have any scouting budget, I can't scout. And that's all you're going to see. But he is Finnish, I'm afraid. But Vietnamese second nationality. Born in Vietnam. Born in Ho Chi Minh. What's his eligibility like? So he's been in Finland for most of his youth, I would guess. That implies, because he's already homegrown, 0 to 21, and he's only a young lad. There we go, 16 years old. Oh, what a fine birthday as well. Right, he's being shortlisted because he shares a birthday with me. That's a legitimate reason, right? That's our biggest ever win. Our previous one was 7-1 against Hyvinka Palaswera. They don't play in any of the major divisions right now. Doesn't tell me what year that record was, unfortunately. So, where are we going there? He's not Finnish, he's only 28. It's a classic. It's a classic, Adam. Yes, Vietnamese. Quang, join Mariehamn. We might have to see if, considering we've just spunked all our money into our wage budget and still overspent on wages, it might not be for another season until we can try and poach him. So our next game is against FC Lahti. Did we play them in the League Cup? I don't think we did this year. No, we didn't. We have, though, played them in the Championship group as well as the league last season. So we've beaten them twice. 3-4, that was the opening game of the league season last year, wasn't it? Askari Salonen scoring 2 goals. I remember that game well. We came down, we were 2-0 down. We then went on a crazy spree in the second half. They pulled one back only for us to win it late. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Knight of Knee says, that day is also the day of the Carnation Revolution of 1974 in Portugal. That is some fine knowledge. It is also the birthday of English spin cricketer Monty Panesar, former Everton and West Ham managerial legend David Moyes, and potentially William Shakespeare, but no one's ever really sure. Useless information for you guys. I think there's a couple of other cricketers on there as well. I wonder if that Quang is Quang or Quang. Now, and I appreciate it's going to be really
difficult to express the phonetic sounds over text, but what are the differences between those Kwangs? There are no accents whatsoever on the letters, unfortunately. Monty, what a player. Moisey, what a manager. Exactly to both of them. So what was I was saying is, I remember you've done the guess the player, so let's move up to the game here and let's go on over and play the second round of guess the player. So Rex is in. Good evening, Rex. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for the kind words about a beard. We are finally getting some volume to it. So I want to get it down to about here before I pop to the barbers to get it properly trimmed up. Because every time I've asked the barber to trim the beard, and I've said, like, just tidy it up. Don't make it too short. Like it ends up down here, and you're like, nah, I can't be doing that. So we want to get it really long. So when it gets trimmed back, it should be fine. Anyway, you guys aren't here for beard chat. Let's talk about guess the player. So for those that haven't seen this before, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to see 4 pictures of a snapshot of a player's profile in FM24. You'll see them one after the other, and they're all just from one player. Your job is to guess who that player is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. Really straightforward. So let's head on in to the first clue here. We've got a left-footed pressing forward. So I'm trying to grow mine too, but it just looks really messy right now. That's the hard thing, is getting through the absolutely like wild. Like when I brush this in the mornings, it ends up all out here like a crazy old man. And that's probably how we're going to now end the stream, because I don't have a hairbrush easily to hand right now. So this is now how we appear. Like a grizzled old man. Like a hobo, exactly. According to Transfermarkt, the biggest win was 12-0 against Tampere in 2015. Oh, Football Manager lies. Football Manager lies indeed. Johnny Trotter is here for beard chat. Good to hear. Good to hear. So, we've got guesses coming in. Guesses of Yusuf Poulsen. It's not Yusuf Poulsen. Not Dominic Calvin-Lewin. It's not Julian Alvarez or Rasmus Højlund. Dan Lucas has gone for Xerxes. It's not Xerxes. Or Ethan Wheatley. That is a bold, bold claim. Dominic Calvert-Lewin again guessed Højlund, coming in over on from Jonsa. Cole Palmer as a pressing. I see, because he can play behind the strikers. I think Cole Palmer's a bit more natural behind the strikers, but I like the thinking of it. Wout Weghorst, Benjamin Sesko, Lukaku, Pavlidis have all been guessed. None of you are quite there right there. So let's move on to the next one. We now know that this is a player who's quite strong, got good jumping reach. So it's definitely the more target man side of the pressing forward spectrum. Rex, thank you very much for the follow. That is super, super appreciated. So Vangelis Pavlidis was guessed at the end before we moved over, and then Hugo Duro is a guess. It's a fine, fine guess. Just a reminder to everyone. So I think there are some guesses here that are right-footed players. We do know this is a left-footed player. They like to play with their back to goal. They try first-time shots. So guesses coming in: Jonas Vrind, Alexander Sorloth, Kurasi, Rafa Mir. Some fine guesses coming in here as well. To Ramey, none of those unfortunately are correct. Sunderland are 4-0 up at home to Leicester and on the verge of the title. The bookies underestimated us, said we'd finish 9th. On the cusp of glory, Rich. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And in that time, we've had a couple more guesses. Ash over on YouTube has said Dovbyk. Hung Min has said Bruno Iglesias. Chris Wood and Ben Teke are the guesses coming in. And I can tell you guys that one of you is correct. One of you is correct. It is either Artem Dovbyk, Bruno Iglesias, Chris Wood, or Christian Benteke. So if we look at the next one, that's wrong. That's wrong. Oh, that bit. If we ignore the next one, they're at Girona at the start of the game, which means it is indeed Artem Dovbyk. Ash, well done. A fine 3 points heading your way. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. It is the now Roma striker. He is at Roma now, isn't he? Roma striker Artem Dovbyk. A quality player. I really, really like watching Dovbyk play. He just bullies players, but he's not so slow that he can't be a threat in behind. A truly, truly fun player to watch. That is 3 amazing points your way, Ash. Well done, sir. And the applause is coming in from chat. So Adam, is the polygon gone from guess the player now? It is indeed. We've removed one of the pictures, and we've switched the orders of a couple of things around just a little bit, just to freshen it up. The polygons never really helped anyone, and we kind of guess it at the scout report most of the times. So having the attributes and traits shown at that point, I think, is a nice change up. Okay, I thought I was losing my mind. Indeed. And so the polygon was a bit useless, I think. Agreed. And Hank agrees. I am completely on board with that. I think we could have possibly had the polygon go first, so you kind of get more of an idea of the overall, so you get a really, really loose idea of the overall profile of a player, and then it drills down into position. But that just feels equally redundant. Right, so here we are into the next game. Let's restore all our starters back to the starting lineup. Here we go. Actually, Forsström gets the start. Forsström stays in the starting lineup. Savalainen will replace Enqvist. He's not really done much. He did get an assist in the last game, but that was against lesser opposition. What are the changes we're doing here? Adam Larsson onto the bench. Lundberg, Schambost, Savalainen, Fonsel, Dahlström. Yeah, that's our starting lineup. Queaton as a defender. Enqvist. Juhi as defensive midfielder. Skoglund, Larson, Slayman. Rockmans could go onto the bench. Kereke could go onto the bench, but yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Let's get back to winning ways in the league. That does mean 2 players that aren't quite match fit. That could be dangerous. It is an away game against FC Lahti. Any of their players really cause us issues in the past. I mean, they're a good team, to be fair. So when I say I don't think so, I mean, I do think so. But there's not someone like Juninho, who when he was playing for Ilves last season, just always seemed to be causing us problems. So Rich says, Sunderland have won the English First Division in 1968. In this world, Matt Busby was sacked by Man United. The Champions League win of 1968 never happened. My word. So that is a good question, Rich. What are people doing in these saves these days? In their saves these days, even. Ajala sends it in. Lundberg can't quite get there. But he gets to the second ball. Tries to pull it back. Savalainen against the angle. Oh, that was close. That was close. Oh, so we go again. Lundberg is on it once more. Plays it back. Schambost plays the ball over the top. Has Lundberg managed to stay onside? I don't think he has. The flag has gone up. That won't count, unfortunately. It's a lovely ball over the top, but it looks like he just timed it a little bit wrong, and there's no VAR to correct it, unfortunately. So, aren't White and Rogerson in the hacker side from New Zealand? Nominative determinism. That does look that way indeed. Let's have a little look there, as we have absolutely dominated proceedings so far. There's a little space bar. Rogerson is from New Zealand. White is from New Zealand. They are both internationals. It is very much nominative determinism. Do you think they do the hacker before the game? That would be a nice little touch. Right, so we've had this in the last game that we played, that we dominated everything and then we were sucker punched. Our hacker about to do the same to us here. Here's Freeberg. Push it back to Perm. Rogerson. Oh, it's a lovely turn from Rogerson. Into the side. Netting. Phew. It seems to be going their way right now. Here's a cross from White. And Dam gets the second ball. Rogerson on the edge of the area. He's got so much space. Found Larksonen. And that apparently wasn't offside. And we're 1-0 down. Robbery. Was this a case of the guys on the line didn't get out quick enough? Because it looked like he might have been offside. So at the moment, it's okay. Yeah, looks like our guys are just slow getting out, which is a real shame. Weekenden unfortunately couldn't get a strong arm to it. Oh, we were going to see a tight offside. We get a replay for this one. There you can see it's the trailing leg of perhaps Reitinen that's played him onside. And we can feel, okay, they are winning the XG battle. We've done our lovely little shout. It hasn't changed anything. Hacker come back once again. They didn't have a highlight in the first 40 minutes, and now this will be their third chance. It's going to be Mahuta, plays it to Rogerson. Mahuta pushed behind by Riikonen. This is shocking, boys. This is shocking. So what are people saying? Need to start a new save, says Rex. Rogerson! Oh, come on. This is a joke, boys. Start defending. Let's have a look at that momentum chart. It was pushing that way a little bit beforehand. That's the 40-minute mark. No, that's the 40-minute mark. That's the 45th. No, it's not. Because the goal happened in the 42nd minute. So that's 40, 45. Normally in 5-minute blocks. We simply have to be not just better in front of goal, just better overall. Savalainen is coming off. What are those changes we make here? Counter doesn't really help. I'll push the directness up a little bit. I'll look to hit early crosses as well. We'll look to pick out some individuals. Those two don't really have anything. I'm going to say I have faith. Enquist, I am going to say I want a good performance. Can we put this back on track in the second half? So Crablungs is trying to make Vitesse less minging with a bunch of kids, and Alexander Butner, pray for me. It's Alexander Butner there. There's a throwback as well. An abject start to this second half. Nothing being created much at all. We've had a reasonable shot, but not good enough for a highlight. Here we go. So the change is coming. Lundberg apparently has played quite well, but nothing really much to show for it. It is Shambost coming off once again. We are going back to the 3 up top system. Slayman as a deep lying forward. Lundberg as a target forward. Ooh. Queetonen is coming on for Forsell. So Forsstrom's going to play as the midfielder. We're going to play Dahlstrom a little bit further forwards. I should have made us play a bit more direct there, but let's give it 5 minutes or so. Another round of demand more. Let's push that up to slightly more direct. Slayman with the corner. Interesting that Slayman, our 16-year-old deep-lying forward, is the designated corner taker, but if that's who Sherland wants, that's who Sherland wants. Forsell plays it to Rogerson. Rogerson crosses to the far post. There's and damn, and that's the game over. Oh, that is some poor defending from the free kick. It looked like we had Rogerson under control, and then our number 3 there just stops, kind of. And then nobody picks up and damn at the far post. And that is 2-0. What's happening? What is happening? We've mustered absolutely... I've said muster again. Oh, they're going to make it 3-0. Master Kangas to Mahuta. Mahuta is a great name. It's a penalty, because of course it's a penalty. We haven't conceded one for like 4 games or something. So here we go. Can Riikonen do some magic, or will Forsell make it 3-0? Forsell makes it 3-0. We are dead and buried. It's the former Mariehamn player, Petteri Forsell, from the spot, straight down the middle. Riikonen goes full stretch to his right and is made to look like a fool. It's a deserved win for Hacker. An absolutely deserved win. We failed to take our chances, and then those changes we made just didn't bring about any change in fortune whatsoever. We just got worse and worse as the game went on. It's like we miss a chance and our heads just drop, which is a real shame. So let me catch up with some of the chat here there. Right, Tales of the Tape says, when I play retro databases, I tend to sign cult heroes, Streets won't forget type of players. I also have a no Ballon d'Or winners rule. That's an interesting twist. Johnny says, I have a Lusophone save going on, moving between countries speaking Portuguese. Just won the Copa Libertadores with SE Gama in 202. Wow, that is a retro save. Now starting with a team in the Azures in Portugal. That does sound quite cool as well. I look forward to 20 years from now when you sign Divock Origi, says the Quez, about Tales of the Tape Streets Won't Forget players. Rich, question, can anyone recommend an interesting club in Japan to manage with a backstory? Any size will do. So Johnny Trotter has suggested Nagoya Grampus 8, former team of Gary Lineker. Johnny Trotter did correct to say 2042. I prefer the sound of 202 personally. Crablungs did a Cerezo one. I love that, simply for the pink. Maybe a team from Okinawa. So Rich, thanks for writing down suggestions. All welcome. Tales of the Tape says, everybody always goes back and signs Ronaldo, Zidane, Ronaldinho, etc. Give me the Jalminias, the Guillermo Barros Charlottos, the Ailtons of the world. Some classic names in there. Classic names in there indeed. Saham Damin has recommended Yokohama FC, brother of the famous Yokohama Marinos, used to have a Vietnamese player, used to have Kazuyoshi Miura. Surely everyone has had Miura at some point, given how long his career has been going. Right, this is like that. This is a little bit like Monday, where everything was going well, and then suddenly we lost 2 games unexpectedly against Ekenas and Turku. We had a really positive start. We looked great against Lahti, against TPS. We looked great against Lahti, but were sucker punched. Now we've been beaten by Hacker. Our next game is VPS. VPS have started kind of middle of the road. 2 wins, 2 draws. Hopefully, so it has to be said, Shambost comes in, he scores twice on his full start, and then our performances have been a little bit shaky with him in there. Granted, we don't have anyone else to play there, but maybe he's just not quite the fit that we think. Maybe he needs to be changed to a more suitable role for his skill set. We'll have a look at that perhaps if the next game doesn't quite go to plan. And I know it's been dangerous changing the trequartista, because when generally speaking, when we've had the trequartista, we've done all right. But we do perhaps need to see whether it's just we're just losing a little bit of team unity with Shambost in that specific role. So Adam did a save with Tokyo Verdy that I really enjoyed. Historically one of the more successful clubs. They moved away from Tokyo to try and become the nation's team. It didn't work, and they spent huge trying to keep their success. Then moved back to Tokyo and are now somewhat in the shadow of FC Tokyo. That is a good backdrop there. So Willie Nunes is disappointed because he's not playing enough. He isn't playing well enough. So he's still only played 20 minutes. 35 years old, and my best player must... There's nothing wrong with a 35-year-old. That's your best player. We can cope with that.
You tell me,
Hank,
how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Right, I don't have the monitor on the noise, so I've gone from mouthing along and the subscription noise not playing at all to the subscription playing and me not being able to hear it. Thank you so much, Hank, for the gift sub there. Goes to Crab Lungs, you absolute gentleman. Reese is in. Good evening, Reese. Your beard is magnificent personified. Why, thank you, sir. We combed it, well, I combed it with my hands out a little bit to make a point, so we are currently going full hobo for the rest of the evening. Hungermin says beautiful defending. What the F? Johnny Trotter, Rainmere have a great logo. I think they're in J3 though. Rainmere is an amazing name as well. This match is a nighttime robbery, says El Norbo. I think we bought it on ourselves a little bit. I didn't get them going. I didn't get them firing. It was a very, very flat performance in the second half. After we started off so well. Arvid Lundberg is the best performing player in the league. That's something at least. He's in the team of the month along with Olawale. It's just the 2 players in there right now. So maybe I need to temper our expectations on perhaps a title win this season. I know it's only early, but that's some stuttering early on. New Zealand owns me. It does indeed. Pre-match Hacker scared all the Mariehamn players. Well, it looks like they maybe waited until like the 20th, 30th minute to do the Hacker. Didn't get scared until halfway through the first half. Or maybe it just takes that long for them to register. They're in shock to begin with. Hacker Moneyball, that would be an idea. Tokyo is an interesting story. Rainmere, I'll look at it. I don't mind J3. Perfect. There's a database that WTS used if you want to go all the way down to J6. Now that is some commitment. That is definitely some commitment. So do we stick with the same lineup after that performance? No. Enquist comes back in. Borstrom out and Queetonen back into the starting lineup. We need Olawale to start taking some chances as well. There is the possibility that Larson is returned to the starting lineup at some point because, yeah, it feels like he's set up those 2 goals for Shambos, but he's missed some big chances. Right, hands in pockets. I want to see a marked improvement. I still have faith. I will always have faith in you guys, apart from those times when I don't have faith in you. It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You can see where I am in chat right now. I'm about 3 or 4 minutes behind. So we started off promisingly, and now it's back into VPS's favour. What's the position map looking like? They're really quite even right now. Neither team really making any headways from the looks of things. We're getting the ball into Dahlstrom, which is kind of who we want to see on it. Bit too much in defence. There we go. So Queaton on the ball now. Plays it into Fonsell. Fonsel's going to have to go back to Queaton. He finds Enquist on the wing. Pressure immediately, but he finds Lundberg. Lundberg's going to send an early cross in. Headed away by Picknam, but Olawale can gather. Plays it back to Ajala. Ajala pushes forwards. That's a low cross. It bounces around, and there's Dylan Shambos to make it 1-0. Back to winning ways. Come on, boys. I know there's still 60 minutes to go. It pinballed around the area. We got very lucky there. So Olawale does nicely to find Ajala. Ajala then carries it to the byline, sends it low. The clearance into his own defender falls at the feet of Shambos. And that's 1-0. That's 1-0 indeed. So yeah, we can see Dahlstrom's getting a lot of the ball, as is Machado. Machado as the stopper is pushing up. As BPS have a chance now. Potentially it's a penalty. Of course it's a penalty. It's always a penalty. Always a penalty. Here we go. We have Räisänen to take the penalty. And he manages to make it 1-1. The lead lasted only 9 minutes. Anti-Villa Räisänen. Anti-Villa. See, he obviously hates me. Räisänen hasn't saved any. I don't think any of the last 4 penalties now. His magic streak on penalties is gone. There we go. We've had 1 shot on target. They've had 2. So I can't complain too much. Dahlstrom makes the tackle in. We send it long. Olawale chasing, trying to apply pressure, but BPS comes straight back at us. Can we please just hold on until half time? Räisänen plays it back. Häkkinen now over the top. Brighton gets there first, but Räisänen there. It's a grubber from distance. Never really troubling Räisänen. We have lost something this evening. We started off so well, but it's all been a little bit lame since. So let's have a look at where VPS are getting the ball. That's the keeper. It goes through the left-hand side. A lot of joy on this right-hand side there. So they're not getting much centrally. That's probably the key thing. They're getting a lot of the ball out wide. And they're managing to cause us damage moving in from there. So, another case of telling you guys that you're rubbish. The defence are the only ones who get a pep talk in that regard. We are going to look to try and push these guys inside. And push these guys inside. So let's focus on the fullbacks. That means we want to mark up the guys that they can pass to inside as well. Something like that. Oh, Olawale, he's done some really good things for us, but doesn't seem to be happening for him in front of goal. Here we go into the second half. Are we going to see the same as what we've seen in previous games where we've just been really flat? Machado finds Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom goes back to Machado. Machado plays it down the line. Ajala inside to Olawale. Olawale plays it through. Here's Shambos to make it 1-1 still. High and wide. A disappointing finish from a great position from Shambos. A lovely little run though. It's a throw in for VPS deep. Enquist gets it back for us. Fonsell now can... Oh, he loses out, but there's okay. Queaton is in to cover, plays it back to Räisänen. Dahlstrom forced backwards immediately, and we were all the way back to Räisänen. Queaton to Fonsell, though. Fonsell, get rid of it. Oh boy. Enquist intercepts this time. I have no idea what this highlight is. It is just really bad football by both sides so far. Shambos, though, he can play it through to Olawale. Has Olawale stayed onside? It doesn't matter. It's a miss. And Fonsell is coming off.
That error, that was twice he was caught in possession in that move. So Savalainen will come on. We'll swing him out wide. Olawale, he's just not got the goal-scoring touch right now. So on comes Adam Larsson. You can make it happen. You can absolutely make it happen. Let's see if we can get there. The momentum has been in our favour. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. I can snooze. It's okay. Don't mind me. I went to snooze the ads. I accidentally pressed run ads, and I think it's gone and run the ads. It's okay. Most guys are subscribed anyway. We've now lost Ajala to injury, and Dahlstrom is looking injured as well. That is marvellous stuff. So we'll make a double change there. Right, we'll swap these round. We're now going to put the Volante on the side of the target forward. Ball winning midfielder on this side. And Lundberg is coming off as well. So that's going to be the side of the deep line forwards. Let's push that tempo up. Let's try and get that ball forwards just a little bit earlier. Give a fire. We're into the last 10 minutes. We've got to be able to turn this round, right? It's another disappointing draw. Another disappointing draw. Let's go all out attack in the last few moments. I have never seen all out attack result in a single chance. But we've got to try it, haven't we? We've got to try something. It is a disappointing result once more. Absolute shambles. Another penalty conceded. Let's look at our defensive setup. We concede so many penalties. But we will look at it once we've seen this. Ajala is out for 5 weeks. That is a blow. That is a massive blow. So out of possession, we do trigger the press a lot. That is mainly going to impact us in these areas. Higher up. Thank you, Adam. We trap inside because that's ultimately where most of our defensive things are. We're not too high. None of these guys, we don't have get stuck in. None of these guys are asked to tackle harder. These guys are. Well, the ball-winning midfielder is. Actually, none of these guys are told to tackle harder. None of these guys whatsoever have been told to tackle harder. And yet we are going in and conceding penalties at an outrageous rate. That's 2 penalties in the league in 5 games. I think it was 5 penalties last season, which had us pretty much among the worst. Penalties conceded. We are the only team to concede a penalty so far this season in the league. It's some bad juju going on, that's for sure. Right. Unfortunately, that meant I didn't pay attention to chat for a bit. So, in theory, I'd love to do the league down to J6. I just don't play FM saves quite long enough. 10 years is about your limit these days. That's fair. Huge thanks to everyone for suggestions, even if I didn't reply. I've written them all down. That is, bless you, Rich. Thank you very much for saying thank you. I know that sounds patronising. That wasn't meant to sound patronising. It's just nice to see. Playing international with Mariehamn. Yes, qualified for the Conference League in summer 25. Indeed. Just the qualifying rounds. We won't get any further than that, I'm sure. If that guy is anti-Villa, is he a villain? I would consider him a villain, but evidently he's not. He thinks of himself as a hero. Rich, you set a lot of OIs to push people inside. You don't choose the option of trap inside, so I'm curious why you think the latter isn't the correct option. Okay, so now as we see, we trap inside as well. I know that we trap inside. It's all linked together. I wouldn't have. I might still at times target, say, a single player to trap outside when I'm otherwise trapping inside. But yeah, normally they will work in harmony. And that's how it worked with the Turku tactic, where we trapped outside and then had all the pressing traps to push them out into that area. Adam, worth going to stay on feet, or do you think that'll make them too passive? I will never do stay on feet in the current edition of Football Manager. They are already too passive without tackle harder on. The board want to offer me a new contract. that's interesting after the week we've had. Sure. All right, that's not actually. I thought they just said that I'd accepted it already, which would be a lie, an absolute lie. Right. Okay. So I accidentally pressed run ad instead of snooze during that last match. I do need to have a break. I do need to go carry on drinking, stand up, stretch, go to the toilet. So I'll be back in roughly 3 minutes. All right, guys? I'll see you when we're back. Said it would be a quicker one. Just needed to do a couple of little bits. So we are back. I have no idea how many minutes that was, but I'm pretty certain that was under 3 minutes. And I noticed that Adam redeemed Only Connect, so let's do the last Only Connect of the evening. Again, a reminder of the rules for those that aren't familiar. You will see 4 pictures of players. They might be current players, they might be players from the past. They all have a connection of some sort. Your job is to work out what that connection is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. Really, really straightforward. Let's head on straight in. You'll get the grips of it if you don't understand otherwise. We start with this gentleman who's doing something. Is he boxing, perhaps? Is he boxing? What else could he be doing there with his hands? I'm not quite sure. But who do we think it is? So Adam thinks it's Loic Remy. Hank says it's Remy. You are both indeed right. And also Rich, yes. I agree. Obviously, I agree with you. You're agreeing with me. It is a liability. Easing off tackles or stay on feet does tend to be a bit of a liability. So we've got played for multiple London clubs being the first possible connection from Adam there. It isn't played for multiple London clubs. I wonder if that is appropriate for some of these players. I'm trying to remember who the next lot are. Like there are some players who definitely moved around multiple teams, but I'm pretty certain there's at least one who might have never played for a London club at all. So do we have any more guesses as to what kind of unique characteristic Loic Remy might have that could link him to the mystery remaining 3 players? It doesn't look like it, so let's move on to the next one. Now,
to be fair, this person has played for a London club. We know that much. It is indeed Cucurella indeed. Thanks, God. Is it a dog? Is it a dog? Unlike others, has guessed Willian. I assume that was for the first one. The first one was Loic Remy Willian. Loic Remy, unlike others. Well, I see what we're going with there. To Fellaini indeed. There is a feel. So unlike others, is guessing a lot of other very, very hirsute gentlemen, I've noticed. So FMG&G has suggested they played for clubs with bird nicknames. What nicknames do you think of that? So obviously Cucurella played for Brighton. That's the Seagulls. Who did Loic Remy play with? That would be a bird nickname team. Loic Remy's played for a lot of clubs, so I'm sure there is one. I just don't know who it is or what the nickname might be. So Hank says legit looks like a Cocker Spaniel. He does. Isn't it glorious? Glorious. Tales of the Tape says great hair. Indeed. So Remy was on loan with Palace. Perfect. And yeah, obviously, yes, Eagles. So Johnny Trotter, no, that's Johnny that. Danzo's guess for played in Premier League and La Liga. That's a fair guess. But it's not what we're going with. Maybe it's about singing, says unlike others. So what's the thought about singing there, unlike others? I'm not sure I follow quite yet, but I'd be really interested to hear it. Players with curly hair, that's fair. It isn't that, unfortunately. Remy at Newcastle, some Magpies. That works as well, indeed. Beautiful stuff. Let's move on to the next clue. Now, unfortunately, this gentleman does not have curly hair. I don't think he played for a London club either, unless I'm mistaken there. But this clue, I'm pretty certain that from this clue, DM Bassist would have got it right. I think DM Bassist would have been a fan from this clue. So Johnny Trotter has said it's Ian Rush, as has Adam on the Ball FM. It is indeed Adam Rush. What could link Loic Remy, Mark Cucurella, and Ian Rush? Hank says, is it a World War II fighter pilot? It might well be. It might well be. With a moustache like that, it definitely has an anachronistic feel to it, and it's glorious. Truly, truly glorious. And the way the eyebrows point up a little before then coming down and arching round, it feels very, very, for some reason, like it would belong in a bygone era. So J.H. Caveres has guessed that they slipped because of their shoes. That's a fair guess. Obviously, that was quite amusing on Sunday as Cucurella slipped not once but twice, resulting in goals and having to change his boots. Where's DMB when you need him? I know, it's a shame. It is a shame indeed. So I don't think we've got any more guests coming in. We have Hung Dem In saying all players slipped in a derby. It's not to do with slipping, I'm afraid. We are a little bit more abstract today. We are quite a bit more abstract with this one. So who is the last person on this list? We've had a really, really wide mix of eras of players as well. Indeed, Adam, it is Christopher Eagles. One of the first examples that I can remember in my lifetime of a player who was hyped up to be the next best thing that absolutely crashed and burned compared to their expectations. So Johnny Trotter says Rush was famous for saying playing in Italy for Juve was like living in a foreign country. He wasn't the smartest fella. That is true. The Hank has guessed bird sounds. He doesn't know. I mean, okay. So, what ones have we done on previous Fridays? We have done a couple of these more abstract ones. Things like their initials are compass points. Rich Sunset said a lot about Brit attitudes at the time. It did indeed. And you know what? Actually, I'm not going to give you guys any more clues on this. I think we can just take a moment to revel and appreciate that despite saying the words wild guess in brackets, that FM Got No Game is indeed right. We have Loic Remy. We have Mark Cucurella. We have Ian Rush, just Rush, and Chris Eagles. The Eagles. They all have a band name in their names. You should know by now that I love an abstract one every now and then. But obviously now it does take a bit of music knowledge there, but DM Bassist, his name is a reference to bass, and Rush quite famously have arguably one of the better bass players that there has ever been. So that was also an exceptionally contrived clue there that possibly only DM Bassist might have picked up on. But as you know, as we said, we've done colours in names, we've done animals in names, we've done family members in names, we've done compass points. There is always one entry a week of truly abstract, save for the end. And this time I think we can definitely say it's on the abstract side. So Kvez had said positions on the pitch at the end there. Hank wants a refund. Adam, you could have streamed for a month straight and I wouldn't have got that. That's fair. Oh man, that's a stretch, says Tatsugiri. You need to think outside of the box. A great selection of bands, says Tale of the Tapes. There are some great bands in there. You should just be glad that I don't know. So how many people would recognise a picture of Gordon McQueen? That was one of the ones that we were going to go with. So Mariehamn have offered me €925 a week, a 35% pay cut if we get relegated. I don't like that. Let's commit for longer. I want 300. I want to get rid of this. I'm quite happy with 850 a week. There we go. Job's a good one. I don't think we're going to get relegated anytime soon, but if we wanted to remove that clause, I think it's only reasonable to suggest a little bit less. We also got an extra year out of it, which is nice. A bit more security. I'm still going to ignore the press, though. Woke nonsense, says Hank. That's fair. Rich says, a former work colleague of mine who knew his football went to a game with Rush. He said it was an education listening to Rush observe things he just didn't see. I can imagine so. Like when you play the game at that level, there are going to be things that come by nature that would otherwise be completely foreign to us, essentially, because we're not used to paying attention to those things. So Zivkovic is available on a free transfer. They're talking of people that never lived up to the hype. He is now 28 years old. We have no money, so no real point looking to it. That's very Hotel California of you, Musterman, says Knight of Knee. That's fair. We could have got stuck in there for sure. You could have got stuck. Could have got stuck indeed. So Triple M, hello. I hope you're good. Good evening, Triple M. Lovely to have you in. How are you doing this evening? So Johnny Trotter, Gordon McQueen in a Man United shirt or a Scotland shirt? He would have had to have been in a Scotland shirt. We weren't. There was very, very slim pickings when it came to images of a high enough resolution for us to use. There was basically one picture of Gordon McQueen. It looks like he was perhaps singing the national anthem before a Scotland game. Nunes has some goals. He scored twice. He's got 3 goals so far. He's turning it round. He's going to be barely any minutes. 3 goals in 115 minutes for the young lad. Maybe he's going to get the development he needs. That would be nice. So I can see, yep, Johnny Trotter has said Zivkovic, another FM Wonder Kid blast from the past. Indeed. And then GFP over on YouTube says, I just want to take this moment to thank you for your skin. No worries, that's very kind of you, thank you. FM always gets stale for me by the end of the year, but having downloaded the iconic skin has made me enjoy it even more than ever. I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it. I'm glad that it can offer something a little bit different as well. I think especially when you play the game a lot and maybe you've played it for a number of years as well, that just having something that makes the game a little bit different can certainly help get the juju going. Yep, I'm using a lot of terms I've never used before. I don't think I've ever called anyone a mad lad before tonight. I almost certainly haven't ever claimed that anything I do would get the juju going. But there we go. So Johnny Trott says, as well as Andrea Zivkovic. True. He never lived up. I think Andrew Zivkovic has had a decent career. I'd say that with the Pauk bias in there. He definitely hasn't reached the heights that were expected, but he hasn't been a complete flop. I think would be the fair term. They're invading the pitch. Rowan, good evening, sir. How are you? How was GeoGuessr? How was your stream tonight? Let's give a little bit of a shout out to the glorious, the wonderful, the amazing Rowan. A lovely, lovely gentleman who apparently, it looks like I haven't shouted out correctly. What's happened there? Rowan on 01. Oh, it's just one. I shouted out a person that didn't exist. Go give Rowan a follow. He's really, really good. Obviously represented the Netherlands at the FM World Cup. We'll stream other things as well. Was doing Dead by Daylight last Friday. Done the Among Us stream with him previously, and I think there might be another one coming up. He's doing a little bit of GeoGuessr tonight. Some absolutely fabulous stuff. Lovely, fun streams to go and watch. So Johnny Trosser says, Muster, Mad Lad, Juju, what's next? Whippersnapper. Oh, maybe we'll throw a whippersnapper in there a little bit later. So, if any of you said a prayer for my Vitesse save, thank you. My Vitesse Virgins are 3 unbeaten. Fabulous stuff. So, Rowan, woo, went very well. Guessed a lot of Geos. You can't really ask for much more than that, can you? So, Adam thinks I might say a little bit of a kerfuffle. Is there a shutout? I spelt shout out correctly this time for a change. I just got the last part of Rowan's tag wrong. I added a 0, an unnecessary 0. Little rascal, indeed. So was it a pure GeoGuessr stream, or did you revert back to a little bit of FM later on in the afternoon? Evening. I've lost all sense of time now. Let's just make sure I take a little sip. So, for those guys that don't know me, if any of you have stuck around, thank you very much for sticking around. I'm MustermannFM. Might know me from the Musterman iconic skin that I created and done for the last couple of years. Generally speaking, you'll find me on YouTube, and now streaming 3 times a week. We are currently at IFK Mariehamn in Finland. In our first season, we were pretty much on the cusp of relegation for the first half of it, and then suddenly somehow fought all the way up to 4th by the end of the year, which is incredible. It meant that we got a place in Europe. That doesn't happen for another few months though, so in summer of 2025, we will embark on our first European campaign somewhere in the very, very early rounds. This is the second season. We won a cup at the beginning of the season, the Liga Cup, which is it's our first time winning that competition. It's our first bit of first bit of silverware in this save, and it's the 3rd ever competition that Mariehamn have won, and now we're currently in a little bit of a rut. We've lost 1 and drawn 2 of our last 3 games, which as far as I'm concerned makes it a bit of a rut, which we're hoping we can get out of here. And part of that change is going to be bringing in Adam Larson into the starting lineup. So Olawale is our top scorer. He's not actually. He's our second top scorer, but he's been a revelation for us. We were playing at wing back. We moved him up front, and he started scoring goals for fun. At the beginning of tonight's stream, he set up 2 goals. We'd offered him a new contract, and he signed a new contract as it was going to expire this year. Since then, he's put up stinkers. And it was only whilst I went for a toilet break that I realised that he's been putting up stinkers since he signed his contract. So he's dropped. He is out of the first team for this next game as Adam Larson, who was the 3rd top scorer in the Valkensliga in real life, comes into the starting lineup. So hopefully that can be the change we need to kickstart our league campaign here. He is a little bit short on sharpness, which is fine. So may I, by the way, ask where the name Mustermann comes from? Especially a question for my German fiance. So fair enough. It is named after Oliver Kahn. So back in some of the previous football managers, Oliver Kahn wouldn't allow naming rights for his name to be licensed very similar to what we've had in the past with Thomas Tuchel and I think Massimo Allegri. So Football Manager gave him a fake name, and that fake name was Jens Mustermann. Jens was a reference to his goalkeeping rival, Jens Lehmann, and Mustermann obviously because it's a German placeholder name. Max Mustermann being the equivalent of John Doe or Joe Bloggs or even Ivanovic Petrovic. It's a name that's used when you don't necessarily know someone's name. So Jens Mustermann was Oliver Kahn, and I thought that skinning was quite similar. Oliver Kahn in-game might have had the name Jens Mustermann, but it was still Oliver Kahn, much in the same way that a skin is still Football Manager, just looks slightly different. That's the pretentiousness behind it all. And then when I started doing things beyond skinning, I was just like, well, I've called it Mustermann, so we might as well just stick with that from here on in. And yes, it was only GeoGuessr tonight. Felt like just playing that hard. That's fair. That is fair. So Tales of the Tapes. Jens Mustermann, a good friend of Matthias Dahm. Indeed. And okay, yeah, we were wondering because of Max Mustermann. Indeed. So that's been one of the biggest mistakes I think I've made with not researching the whole Max Mustermann thing beforehand. Because certainly in the early days after I'd released a skin, I would search Mustermann on things like Reddit, because if people had questions, I could then answer and help them out. And the only ever answers I'd get would be from people using the name Max Mustermann as their account, or some conversation about placeholder names in general. So I quickly learned there was no point ever searching up Mustermann. Ladislav, so they told FM they couldn't use their names. Indeed. And so that is why Thomas Tuchel is Matthias Dahm, and why there are some others. As we take a shot from distance, that wasn't really ever going to cause trouble, and Koski is able to come away with the ball now. Here's Katz, plays it out, nothing much happening there. And every Dutch manager is Jan Jansen. Exactly. So Rich, on this topic, we're aware of FM updates and Italian club name changes for people who already purchased FM24. Yes, we are all aware. I assume we're all aware. It's come up as part of a number of the guest players in the last week or so have been players for the famous Italian club Blue Neri. And here's Shambos. Can he make it 4 goals in 4 games? He can't quite. That's a great save from Koski. Gets down low to his left, pushes it behind. Shambos will be the one to send in the corner. It'll be an in-swinger with his left foot. Lundberg can't get there ahead of Katz. It's another corner. A chance for us to keep the pressure on. Tatsugiri, example person, right? Exactly. So, yeah, people are aware. I mean, to give my own personal take on it, I think that given the choice, let's put it this way. Sports Interactive would have had 2 choices, which is they, let's just see what happens here. First goal, Dobbin. If we were going to concede against the one of play for the 3rd game running, I might have cried. I might have just cried. So to be able to extend the licenses on all the others, all that people notice are the licenses that are gone for Inter Milan, AC Milan and Lecce. Savalainen crosses it in. Lundberg, he's got to get there. Oh, Lundberg, come on. It's happening again, guys. It is happening again. Let's see. Let's try and say some nice positive words to those guys up front. Let's see if just a little bit of a polite nudging will do it. But what's obviously happened in the same time is that they have extended the license in a lot of other situations. And to extend those licenses and to deal with the licenses that have now expired, they have probably had to come to an agreement. And that agreement is either that if FM still stays on sale, and to stay on sale, it has to stay on sale for people on Game Pass, Netflix, all those various subscription services and other ways of accessing the game other than buying it outright via Steam or Epic. All those players would have to have access removed, or you change 3 names in a game. And I appreciate that people who've bought the game, like I've bought the game, my priority isn't other people playing the game. In theory, it doesn't impact me in any way whatsoever whether example person Joe Bloggs, Max Mustermann can play the game or not. Or at least from a consumer standpoint. Now, personally, I want as many people to be able to play the game as possible. And if that means that licenses have to change after sale, and we're talking about 3 names, yeah, that's fine. if it was like a significant change to, say, gameplay, if after being purchased they then went into the game and removed international management. Let's say they removed international management in hindsight on the game, even if it's not a particularly good feature. That I would have concerns about. But from a license perspective, yeah, I'm kind of fine with that personally. Right, we've had the better chances. We lost momentum a little bit in that at the end of the half. Right, let's hands in pockets, hands on hips. I think we've been unlucky so far, but I think we can do better. And let's see if we can pick things up in the second half. Again, Shambost has a poor rating, but he has been contributing. Here comes the cross. Castro can't get there. Riikonen can. What are you going to do with it, Riikonen? Are you going to do something stupid, or are you going to send it long? Shambost loses out in the head. Here's Goldobin. Back to Kalko. Castro, quick into Day. There's our former player Day, who finds Penenkangas. Penenkangas with the low cross. Riikonen gets it clear. It's a penalty. It's another penalty, isn't it? That's three penalties in a row. 3 games in a row. We are the only team in the league to have conceded a penalty. And here's Tommy Castro, and that is 1-0. Oh, this has been rather tough the last 3 games, eh? My word. So, Rich says, respect everyone's opinion, but I think accepting this regarding license as excuse is a sign of how far we've slid towards corporates. We've become immunised to this, and it's harmful. Personal view, SIM Miles Jacobson, it's mis-selling toxic behaviour. We're emphasising with people on at least 6-figure money with corporations worth billions. It's flat out wrong, and we should complain more. That's your opinion entirely. I think that realistically, SI had 2 choices. It's remove the game from everyone on Game Pass, or it's not remove the licenses. If I was in their position, I'd make exactly the same decision, because taking the entire game away from loads and loads of players is not a viable option. And ultimately, you could say, right, well, pay them more, pay more for licenses to extend, or try and come to different agreements. And I'm sure they certainly have. But again, with diminishing returns, if you want them to fold because you want them to pay however much money to extend their licenses under specific terms, I mean, they wouldn't have been able to with the Milan clubs because of the exclusivity deals that they signed with Konami. It's unlikely. It's very unlikely. I don't think there is I struggle to see how there would have been much difference in terms of decision making, other than to remove it entirely from a very, very large number of players. And I think that's I get that as a consumer. From your point of view, you don't have to care about whether other people can play. So I get that. That's not your responsibility to think about that. But it is theirs. So there. Right, Enquist is struggling. Shambost is on a 6.2. Shambost has been fine. He's missed some good chances. The problem is that an average rating means that his confidence is going to be low, which means he'll miss more chances. So, right, Olawale has had his time on the bench. Jimmy Slayman, we are once again going 3 up top. Oh, we're going to actually do it this way round. No, we'll do it this way round. We'll have him as a tight forward on attack still. No, we'll have him as a poacher. Olawale running wide. We'll swap these guys round. Now he does have tackle harder, but he already had it on as a thingy-majig. So Dahlstrom has to go out wide because Ajala is injured, and Enquist is having a bit of a nightmare. He comes on. Jury is the defensive midfielder. Fonsel in that regard. So early crosses, much more direct. counter makes no sense because they're not going to flood forward, so there's not the space to do so there. Plenty of time. There's half an hour to rescue a point, or perhaps concede another penalty. So they've done a brilliant job of absolutely killing the game in this second half. And this is yet another poor second half performance. So they're about to make it 2-0. Here's Tommy Castro inside to Kalku. Plays it out to Goldolbin. He cuts back inside and Hannon finds Castro. They've got the numbers over in Penninkangas. Penninkangas cut out by Dahlstrom. Long ball forward. Olawale is going to gather it. Olawale cuts inside, plays it to Lundberg. Lundberg to Slayman. Yuhi from distance. It's a great save from Koski. I would love to see our goalkeeper make a save. Just one save, please. So here's the cross coming in. Lundberg can't quite get there. They're able to clear their lines. Niston are about to hold out for a big win. Pour the misery on us. See, we blamed Olawale for dropping after winning a new contract. We've just signed a new contract, and now we're losing as well. It's our fault. Here we go. So Skoglund, we're going to push him forwards. Savalainen, we're going to push him forwards. We are now going almost all out attack. He will be in inverted winger on attack, because that's where the defensive midfielder is. Bonsell is okay from a fitness point of view. Savalainen then. So we're running with just defensive players left. Bonsell is left-footed. And that's what we're going with there. Skoglund. None of these players are playing in positions that particularly make sense. So Skoglund's right-footed. He can come in there. Bonsell is left-footed. He'll play as a midfielder. Juhi. I don't know if it's possible for us to say, please just send the ball long to the big boys. We've got two big boys up front. Well, actually, all three of them are above. Olawale is above 6 foot. Lundberg is above 6 foot. Just send it up to him. Do something. No, it's nothing. It's another defeat. We are floundering. It's 14 shots, 7 on target. We still can't score. It's another penalty. 3 penalties in a row. Oh my! And you know what? Let's go. I didn't mean to do this with the defenders. Just second nature of team talks. Now I've upset them all. That's fine. Yeah, I didn't want to celebrate. I didn't want to go Numa after we won in the cup. And look what's happening. We haven't been able to celebrate since the first game of the stream. Oh, this is rotten. Here goes. Let's pop this in. And this is very much like last season. Last season, we had a really good cup campaign. We won the first league game of the season, and it kind of all fell apart. And we're finding exactly the same pattern here. This formation that had worked doesn't seem to be quite so much anymore. Shambos has had bad rating after bad rating, so we're going to drop him as an attacking midfielder. So if we exclude his goals, let's have a look at his form here. So we've had a 9.4, we've had a 7.2, games with goals, TPS as well. That's the other game. 6.6 is okay, 6.3 is bad, 6.5 is just about okay, 6.2, but he is creating chances. Those ratings seem harsh, but when the player has a bad rating, they then end up starting to lose confidence and they start to become a little bit worse. And at least we've got a cup game coming up. Get some chance back in. But can I have a meeting? We can indeed. And we're going to challenge them. That's good. That's what we want. This is absolutely shocking stuff. Shambos on a 6.2 indeed. Wow, what a second half that was in the Freiburg-Wolfsburg game, says Jonsa. Tell us about it. That information doesn't give us anything at all. What happened in the second half of the Freiburg-Wolfsburg game? Rich says impossible positions for sure, but SI need to explain and they're not. Too much empathy with SI. Ultimately did this to themselves and put themselves between a rock and a hard place. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm bored of the empathy towards SI and Miles. but it's vacation. That was poor taste for sure. A different world, isn't it? So Lord Emperor Art Air, thank you very much for the follow. I do apologise for taking a few minutes to catch up to it there. I hope you're doing well. If you're comfortable jumping into chat, I'd love to know who you support, who you're playing with in FM, but absolutely zero obligation to do so whatsoever. I miss Numa. It is a slump, so cup game might get the team going again. That's what we thought after the last cup game, though, wasn't it? We just smashed Knox Reserves 8-0 and followed that up with our first league defeat of the season. Maybe. Let's hope that this can be... I have a feeling we might have to start more of our starters in this game. So we're going to have Slayman in. We're going to bring Olawale back into the starting lineup. Skoglund gets the start over Shambost. How far away is Ajala? He's still 3 weeks away. Sid is out for 2 to 7 weeks, maybe only 2 more months of him gone. Rockman comes in. Lundberg is going to be rested entirely, I think, for this game. Then looking at the midfielders, Dahlstrom looks very tired. So Juhi will come in. Borstrom will replace... we're going to rest Machado and Riekinen. So we're still going to make a handful of changes, but we've got a few more senior players in that lineup. So Freiburg 3, Wolfsburg 2 at the end. 4 goals, including a beautiful bicycle kick. Always nice when Wolfsburg lose. I might have to check out the highlights after that then. Kuitinen is now injured, so that will actually change that plan. Machado. Lundberg won't get a complete rest. He is now on the bench. Shouldn't really plan these things until we get right up to the game. That always happens, doesn't it? Let's be fair. We plan everything and then an immediate injury. So damn, want the best for Wolfsburg this season because my beloved Ralph Hasenhüttl. What makes you a big Hasenhüttl fan? Crab lungs, sorry. Why your beloved, says Rich Sung. Exactly. By the way, for what it's worth, I liked him at Southampton. And FM loves him as a future England manager as well. Right, we need to set the tone from this game. I expect a win. I expect a big win at home against Nopsa. So, we are the favourites here. And I want us to play like it. We're going to point some fingers. And nobody reacts. I'm telling you, I want you to play well. They are not happy. They were all responsive. They were all ears in the meeting. We locked them in a room. I told them they're being shit. And they need to sort it out. And being stuck in that room and all they wanted to do was leave. They were like, yes, we agree. That's all great. Get them in front of a game and we say, come on, guys, you can do this. And stony-faced. Stony-faced. Tough love is losing the effect. It is indeed. Although Skoglund has opened the lead for us inside 5 minutes against Nopsa. Who on earth in Nopsa? There we go. So maybe that'll have some impact. To be fair, I rarely find tough love works in game at all. Now I'm very rarely going to apply tough love. I am very much in real life when I'm playing normally. I'm very much an encouraging, supporting person. But I feel like when I'm on stream, we need to try out some different things, see if it makes a difference. By and large, I think last season when we were in a bad form, I was telling players they were rubbish quite a lot. We kept on losing. When I try out some of these more hey guys stop being rubbish options, it doesn't make any difference. So we'll see how things go. There are the goal celebrations coming in. Crab Lungs had an awful squad at Southampton and zero investment and kept us up repeatedly. Would have loved to have seen what he could have achieved with proper backing. That's fair. FM Morale Manager 24. Indeed. Now here's Slayman. Plays it into Skoglund. Skoglund denied by a block. I thought that was a save by the keeper, but it appears that Jonas Sundman made the block that kept him out. Slayman will cross it into the far post right and is beaten to the air by Ria Marki. Olawale tries to play it back, but his pass is rubbish and Kettinen steps in. Enquist, this time it's going to be a free kick to Yuhi on the edge of the area. It's come back to Enquist. His shot is blocked. It's back once again with Yuhi, and back once again with Enquist. Back once again with the Renegade Master. It has been 71% possession so far. We only have the 1 goal to show for it. Brighton on the ball, finds Yuhi. Machado. Just dilly-dallies for it before going back to Brighton, into Foncel, and back again. What a highlight. This is the exciting, daring football you've all come to watch. Forstrom now will play it out to Enquist, and Enquist will once again go backwards with the ball. Forstrom across to Yuhi. Yuhi finds Savalainen, who's in acres of space. He pushes the ball out, gets it out from his feet, it's crossed in, and Olawale has a goal. Olawale finally has a goal after signing a contract. Let's hope that is what we need to push him into the right frame of mind. Savalainen gets it out of his feet, drills it in low. Olawale, for some reason, as the defenders love to do, the defender just stopped going with him, and it's an easy tap in from barely 6 yards out. That's 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Brighton hits the post. Jimmy Slayman even gets the third. That's 2 shots on target, 1 that's hit the post, and a third shot on target that is also a goal. That's not what I was meant to say. That's 3 shots on target, 3 goals. Slayman falls to him. It is interesting that when the ball hit the post, the goalkeeper for some reason dived the other way, and apparently Slayman was offside, but not at the time. That's fine. He wasn't interfering with play at that point, so that's fine. Another free kick. It is set piece manager, and there's Machado. He's going to be marked offside this time. Okay, didn't know you were a Southampton supporter. I thought he did really well for you, and I was disappointed when he was sacked. I agree totally. He could be a higher level manager. It's fair. In other news, a mysterious power as Enquist makes it. In other news, Enquist has just made it 4-0. Did that start from a throw-in? Was that another? It's another set piece. A mysterious power has taken the Sunderland title-winning team and shoved them and all the world of 1968 into a shredder. Hey, it's over then, is it? Slayman's first official goal. He scored in the cup. So that's not his first official goal. He scored in the Liga Cup. Or did he score in the league? There's Olawale. Oh, that's a shocking miss. Come on, boys. He had 100% run his course, but was exhausted at the end of it. But what he achieved before that, minus the 9-0s, was very respectable with the dirt he had to work with. And Crab Lungs reckons that's the rot over. I love your optimism. I doubt it. As I said before, we won in the Cup 8-0, and then lost a home game in the league against a team much worse than us, 3-0. So, until we get the results in the league, I won't be happy. I won't be happy at all. So Adam, right, my man, time to go. Have a good rest of the stream. Thank you very much for popping along, Adam. So appreciate it. Thank you so much for the gift subs. 10 subs given out to the community. What an absolute gentleman. I hope you have a lovely evening. Just to let you know, if you're still here, I'll be making a call about a stream tomorrow night in the morning. I am thinking of doing something that isn't IFK Mariehamn, because Saturday nights won't always be a stream. There'll be like bonus streams, maybe doing something a little different. But I'll have that worked out whether that's going ahead tomorrow morning. As Savalainen looks to make it 5-0, he does. His low cross is turned in by Skoglund, his second goal of the game. So exhaustion seems to happen these days, says Rich. Job is just so demanding, as are most jobs, to be honest. Glad I'm near retirement age. There we go. Something to keep an eye on, something to look forward to. Johnny Trotter, a Just Chatting stream. We could do a Just Chatting stream. I've not got enough of a personality to carry a Just Chatting stream. Let's be realistic. It's intriguing. So it would still likely be something Football Manager. I'm thinking of doing a slight change of things with some videos coming up. So with the Moneyball Clinic stuff, I was thinking maybe we could do so some of the like Moneyball Clinic analysis side of things together. Savalainen looks to make it 6-0, but it's a good save from Ahmed. Or possibly just find something ideally that we can contain within an evening, or maybe a couple of evenings. So if we do it one Saturday, and we might do it and the next Saturday we stream. But for those that can't make Saturday night streams, and because it's not regular enough, I don't want people who would just assume that I wasn't streaming to miss it, but they felt. I think you understand what I mean. I know that you can watch it back asynchronously. I'm probably overthinking things. That I am almost certainly overthinking things. So where we're at right now, Akereke needs to get some game time as well. And we're going to have Rockman come on at some point.
probably for Savalainen or Enqvist. Pardon me. Maybe a general football chat stream, says Rich. We could potentially, I mean, obviously there are some games, some games, real games being played tomorrow, so it's as good an evening as any to talk about the matches that have just happened. So yeah, that's a possibility. Just chatting with FM in the background, I mean. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what these are anyway, isn't it? FM is just a distraction. One where we lose, and I get very, very sad. We haven't conceded a penalty. That's a problem. I'd like us to see if we can... Oh, that's going to be a red card. Some dirty challenges from Mariehamn there. Disgraceful work. Disgraceful. That sporting idea sounded fun. That does indeed. So, yeah, if we do the money... Oh, we get a penalty. We get a penalty in a meaningless game. Oh. And Scotland, we've missed... I think we've missed every penalty this season. We've had 3. No, we've had 2, and we missed the last one in the last game last season as well. So we give away penalties at a crazy rate. We get penalties in cup games against lower league teams, and we miss them. Oh boy, why are we so broken? And I know it's crazy to say why are we so broken as we're 5-0 up against 10 men. But who on earth are Nopsa? I know that's disrespectful to Nopsa. I do apologise. But... Oh boy, we are awful. Pens are hard, says Moriarty. They evidently are, for everyone but us. I mean, granted, Riikonen saved like 3 penalties last season, but hasn't saved any of the last like 4 or 5 now. It depends how many exactly we've conceded. Something I probably need to look into. Here's Scotland. Feeds it to Olawale. Oh, look at that. That is an awful miss. An awful 6.25 XG. We've only scored 5 goals. This is the problem. Am I taking good care of the choices of my penalty takers? I like composure. Part of this is that responsibility for all set pieces are with our assistant manager. So unfortunately, I'm not. No. I doubt we'd be able to make much discerning difference anyway at this level. We don't have a specialist set piece taker in terms of that. You can see that with the setup that we've got going here, the assistant manager has in swinging corners and in swinging free kicks, and that means that players like Enqvist take corners. He's not very good at them, but he's left-footed. He's also got quite a lot of expected assists as a result of it, and of quite a few assists as a result of it, despite not being particularly good at them. So here come the changes. That change is going to be Rookman is coming on the right. Larson is replacing Wale, and the rest of these guys I would like to not bring in at any point whatsoever. So I know that I'm missing. It would be cool if you streamed how you narrowed down the player for Moneyball Clinic, or any preparation or behind the scenes for a video. As there's Juhi. Juhi makes it 6. A reasonably nice finish, gets into a good spot. Sweet hit it with the right foot into the far corner of the net. Well, far side of the net. So force from here, feeds it into Juhi. Beautiful first touch, gets himself into a good position. There we see the side of the net ripple. That was some good play from him. I give him credit. So yeah, the idea would be that the way that I'm looking to do some slightly different videos is that we're going to, if that's what I'm going to be streaming, we're going to be looking at the behind the scenes. We're going to be looking at entire squads and taking a look at one of the simulation saves, so we can use the data in game rather than just looking at spreadsheets. How we'll assess the squad there. Look at where the weaknesses might be, what we do with that information to consider what type of tactic, even if we don't necessarily build the tactic, but what type of tactic would be good, and where the transfer target weaknesses might be. So into the last 20 minutes, Scotland gathers the ball. Would love to hear some stories from others about their FM journeys and some FM nostalgia. That would be good. Okay. It's been misread. I did say early. I'm 54.
still working and have started another degree. It doesn't matter when the retirement is, it's still something to have an eye on. That's what I meant by it. So, and there's Slayman with another goal. Is it a shot or maybe a cross from Rockman that was deflected into his path? And another big win in the cup against Minnows. Potato. Scogland is a good boy. Misses pens so his opponents don't get further punishment. That's fair. He's very graceful that way. Johnny, maybe some training on pens in one of the training slots. That's the assistant manager too. I'm sticking very, very rigidly to the delegate responsibilities approach. But I was tempted to. I've taken scouting off our scouts because they kept on scouting. It sounds stupid, I know, but when we don't have the budget for scouting, that was quite annoying. But other than that, we're not going to let this. Essentially, there's a decision between getting bogged down by admin all the way through these streams. You've seen how slow I play. His Rockman, lovely little cross. Layman with the hat trick. There's our young lad. Is that offside? It won't count. You're taking a hat trick away from a 16-year-old lad, ref. Do you feel happy about yourself? Do you feel good about yourself? You're proud. You proud of taking away that hat trick from poor little Jimmy Slayman? It's like stealing presents on Christmas Day. You heartless referee. Anyway, sorry, yeah. So I don't want things to get bogged down. I also discovered whilst doing the Moneyball Clinic thing is that if I want to be micromanaging things like the ways that I do with training, which will be setting it each week and actually assessing, I'm just going to forget because I'm not very good at multitasking. So yeah, there's Savalainen. That's 8-0. Woo. Luck will balance itself out eventually. I'd rather miss a penalty at 5-0 up than in a must-win league game. That's fair. Typical senior manager, passing the blame. That is always what I'm thinking. So mad when I get a set-piece goal in a game I'm winning or losing comfortably anyways. Well, that's what I was saying earlier. So I don't even want the penalty in this game. Suggestions. Eric Roy at Brest, considering their Champions League exploits. That is a very interesting... yeah, absolutely. Especially, I'll have to look at how they performed in-game. They're down to 9 men now. Because obviously if a team performs as well as they have in real life, and it's been surprising, 9-0, it's a new record win according to the Game of FM, but not Wikipedia. Yeah, if they already perform really well in game, it's always going to be an element of challenge. But no, Brest sound like a great sound. A great sound? Breast sound like a great sound. I can speak, that's for sure. A great choice. Where were we? Ah, yes, I see. Good luck with the degree. Very kind of you, Crab. Lungs, Yuhi is pronounced Yuhi, by the way. I think I've swapped between both Juhi and Yuhi during the course of tonight. I will probably keep on swapping between them as well. I don't know if you've noticed, but I struggle with English words that I say every day of my life on stream, so my chance of getting pronunciations right is minimal. Let's be fair. So Yonsa doesn't mind getting set-piece goals, but couldn't agree more with penalties. So, and Fez always hates it when his scouts. And Scogland gets a hat-trick. So they've robbed the hat-trick off young Slayman. But Scogland makes amends, and his missed penalty no longer ruins his day for him. Yeah, so Fez said, always hate when my scouts scout. Absolutely. What on earth do they think they're doing? I like the sound of breasts too, says Johnny Trotter. It is... I generally find that the sound of breasts are the most satisfying thing about breast. The look of breast, the feel of breast, the football, the playing of breast, none of that matters. It's all about the sound. So you're doing psychology with the Open University, Rich. Very nice. Enjoying it. People at work say I'm mad. It's a compliment to me. One person said he'd be terrified of writing essays again. I got 86% and 95% in the first 2 assignments, so I'm glad I can still do it. Marvellous stuff. 10-0 indeed. I mean, let's see where Nopsa are. There we are. There's a thing about Nopsa here. They are non-league as far as the game's concerned, so they're not even in the 3rd division. They have never been in the 3rd division. There's no league history data available. I don't think we can really celebrate that too much, but we can we can remember to give people some rest. So there we had Skoglund in a more supporting role. We will let Skoglund keep his position. Lundberg's about to come back in. Dahlstrom back in. Shambost won't be in. Enquist, Savalainen. None of these guys are going to be back in time, are they? They are not. So that's our bench pretty much set. Oh, Wiekanen needs to come back in. Has Lasse Schulze had to make a save yet? So he's played 2 games in the Cup and hasn't actually had to make a save whatsoever. It says pretty much everything. If you were to go down to 9 men like Nopsa have just done, what would your go-to formation tactic be? Almost certainly a 4-4, as in 4 defenders, 4 defensive midfielders. Don't really. If you're losing, might go to a 4-3-1, with there being a massive gap between them, and the one being a deep line forwards, in the hope that they might be able to move into the channels and hold up the ball while some players flood forwards. Maybe we can get a foul. Maybe we can get a corner. Little bit of play for set pieces will be in there. We don't have money to offer these guys new contracts, unfortunately. So what is happening, says Hank, we are destroying a very, very bad team. So psychology, wow, that's amazing, says Crab Lungs about Rich. Fascinating topic. You're really going down an interesting and quite limitless field there. And did you find you are better academically now you're a mature student? A great question. So Kvez says, for FM newbie, what is this rest one day after a game thing that everyone is doing? It's something I've always done. It's just to make sure they have an extra bit of rest after games to keep them fresh over the course of the season. It's probably less of an issue in, say, a league that plays just once a week, or a country that plays just once a week. So if you're not in Europe, you don't have cup competitions, you don't have midweek league games. It's not quite so much of an issue. It just helps keep players fresh over the course of the season. So Johnny says that Nopsa are about tier 6 in Finland. Fair enough. There's another injury. Who are our young backup striker is also injured too. So which one? We had a right back, I think. Yama Mohammed is going to be the player who makes it onto the bench in place of Larson. We are already running thin. It's been a bit brutal with injuries once more, hasn't it? We were quite unfortunate this time last season as well. It felt like we were constantly fighting against injuries. And it feels like we've kind of been in the same situation this year. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's kind of pretty much the same. A little bit below, a little bit above, a lot below, a little bit above. So I think we're currently looking at ourselves being maybe... Right, so it's 1 under, 2 over, that's 1 over, 4 under, so that's 3 under, 1 over, that's 2 under, 3 under. 3 fewer injuries than last season, to be fair. Obviously, there's a big injury with Robin Sid that forced us to spend the money on Shambost. There we go. So, Rich, I can be specific to this. I've had a 30-year teaching career. So that is that. So what I know is how to study, take notes, make things easier when I need to write assignments. Also, I know how to structure academic writing. That will certainly help. I mean, do you also hang that over the head of your tutor at the Open University as well, saying like, I know your job, I do your job, so I can tell you what grade I should get just for the grammar alone. You'll be fine then. You'll practically have a cheat code, says Crablungs. Exactly. Sounds like you know the answer to will this be on the test. Claire says, okay, thank you. Haven't played with 2 rough schedules yet, but nice to know. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know if other people are doing it. That probably suggests that it's a good approach to take, but I don't know whether it's actually effective more than just feeling like the right thing to do. So here we go. We are now up against... He can play, actually. We are now up against Inter Turku, the team that didn't pick up a single point in the Liga Cup until they played us and won. So we'll stick with the attacking midfielder being just an attacking midfielder. Let's see how things go. No, okay. Right. I will take us to this screen. There is an ad starting in a couple of seconds, so I'll bring the ad forwards, and then we'll come back in 3 minutes, and we'll hit up this game, and this is where we're going to turn things around. The break is going to be the thing that makes us change our fortunes. 100%, no doubt about it. Fully confident. See you guys in about 3 minutes. And we're back. I do have one quick little thing to do before we head into the game, which is the wonderful Crodmo sent me a message earlier with guesses for the Only Connect rounds and the guess the players. So we will see what he has guessed. He has gone for the guess the player, Mark Walters, Steve Bull, Noel Whelan, Colin Cooper, Ken Monco, and Jeff Kenner. No surprise there that he got none of them right. But for Only Connect, he is surprisingly good guesses here. We've got they all lost teeth during a match. Their surnames spell out crap. They've all been in a band with Gareth Ainsworth. Kind of feel like I've got to give him some credit for being kind of close with the word band in one of those guesses. They've all been berated by Roy Keane on Super Sunday for not doing their job.
They all have the middle name Jeff, spelt the correct way with a G, and they all think the Saudi World Cup will probably be the best ever. Not bad guesses. Not bad guesses at all. I'll see how the leaderboard look. If the leaderboard ends up shaping out in a way that Quadmo would move up a position if he gets a bonus point, he won't get any bonus points. But I might give him a bonus point. If that's not the case, I might give him a bonus point just for mentioning the word band. I'm quite surprised by that. Right, let's hit into this. Let's see if we can turn things around in the league. Momentum after a cup game didn't work last time out. We have been so good in first half of the games without scoring. We've been really good at everything but the scoring part. So only to a point Rich has said about the degree he's on the first year. So it's going to be harder. And when we go to second and third year, stamina will be an issue. That's fair. That's fair. It is a challenge. But I think that also once you get back into that rhythm of it, as well as Lundberg inside 7 minutes, this is exactly what we've needed. We've been waiting for this for a while. Can we hold on to it this time? It was a lovely cross from Savalainen over on the right. Big, long, booming cross to the far post. And there's our 6'3", 18-year-old. Rises above. The other defender didn't even challenge for it. It's a thumping header. Boom. Tight offside, was it? It didn't. Oh, he did step back a little bit, but got back onside just before the ball was delivered in. Bad advertisement, says Johnny Trotter. This is the thing. I will always stand by this decision. When I'm at work, I will take a break every hour, just for 2 or 3 minutes, because it's good for my health to get up and stand around and take a little walk, and it's bad for my health to take a vape, but I'll do that anyway to balance out doing the good things. And kind of quite nice to formalise going to the toilet as well. I know that sounds weird and probably too much information, but if I don't take those breaks, I'm going to be more inclined to just hold on as much as I possibly can, and that's a bad idea. That is definitely a bad idea. Here's Enquist. That's a good save, by the way, from the keeper there. Savalainen, and Hootonen makes another good save. We have come up against some good goalkeeping performances tonight. It has been a little upsetting as Skoglund sends it in. Dahlstrom can't quite get there to the second ball, but it's only cleared as far as Olawale. Olawale moves back, and here's Forsström sending it. Nothing much happens there. But it's another corner. Skoglund sends it in. This time Lundberg gets up, and he's quite a way over. Quite a way over. If we could get a second goal before half time, that would very, very much be appreciated. Okay, I thought that was going to be their counter-attack for a moment, but we have stepped in. And they've stepped in now. Apuku gave the ball away, but then wins it back with the interception. Seju steps inside. He's running at defence from distance, hits the bar. That would have been a lovely goal. A lovely, lovely goal, but it wasn't to be. Let's just egg these guys on. We are once again seeing that whatever happens around the midway point of the first half seems to be a momentum shift. We've had a chance now for them to Turku. I'm hoping this isn't going to be another chance for them, but we're going to try and get under their skin a little. Let's fire them up. Here's Enquist. He's managed to get past his man beautifully, and that's a wonderful solo goal from Daniel Enquist. He thinks about doing a little dance. He does a couple of steps, a little dance, and then bails out. A little bit self-conscious. I'd never thought that I'd say that about Daniel Enquist. The man has the confidence of someone far greater than he is, but that's a beautiful, beautiful goal into the far corner. So, Rich, regarding relationships with the tutor, I'm the exact opposite, because I know how hard the job is at every aspect and level. I'm really accepting of mistakes, etc. I also do anything I can to thank the tutors and support. That's good to hear. And oh no, Smith is in behind. Was he offside? Did he time that well? Have we got it being disallowed? We haven't. Oh, come on, boys. This is some shocking stuff. So, Legbo, let's pause it here. The fire-up came in after we scored the second goal. Oh, no. Highlights here. 2D Classic. This goes back to TV. Oh, that's wonderfully timed. He might have even still been in his own half when the ball was released. Was indeed. That is a beautifully timed run. There we go. Our defence absolutely all at sea. Smith one-on-one with the keeper. Riikonen can't be held accountable for that at all. Saquon, do you mind hitting matches so I can see the league table?
You can indeed. It's still early days yet. Well, I suppose we're 7 games in now. And we've got some very, very familiar sides. We've got Ilves up the top. But HJK, FC Hacker, FC Lahti, all teams that were in the Championship group last season, they are currently not doing quite so well. Into Turku near the bottom, TPS newly promoted right at the bottom there. Ekinas Anganistan had really good starts to last season. Ekinas dropped off a little bit as the season went on. Nistan stayed in the top. AC Oulu struggled last season, only just staying up from what I remember. They have had a very good start. Right, we've said some positive things. Can we build on this momentum a little bit here? So again, once we scored the second goal, the last 15 minutes of the half, just a little bit off. Dahlstrom plays it back to Forsström, across to Machado. It's all the way back. Here's Savalainen now, forcing it over the top. There's Lundberg. That wasn't a header. You don't need to head that. You're tall. You could have brought that down with like a long, stick a leg out, long and rangy. Come on, lads. Right, I want to see more. We've only got a 1-goal lead. That's not good enough. That's not going to see us comfortably into the last few minutes. Here come the changes, though. We've surely got to give Slayman. Could we play Slayman up front? So if we do something like this, so we ask Lundberg to just kind of stay central, that's absolutely fine. And then we'll probably look to bring on Shambost a little bit later too. We will look to kill things off as we go into the last 10 minutes or so if we can. Here's a corner now for Inter Turku. Janssen will send it in. Is this the comeback being sealed? Bonsell gets to it first, but it's back to Seiju. Seiju on the edge of the area. What a goal! What a goal! That is a beautiful effort curling into the far corner. That is truly, truly delightful finish. We failed to clear the corner to begin with. A little bit of a 1-2. Takes a touch. Absolutely right into the top corner. There's nothing Riikonen could do. However, a 2-2 draw at home is... Oh, no. No, 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 no. There we go. Oh boy. Oh, that is heartbreaking. That is so upsetting. Right, we need to push all the way up now. We need to really, really go for it. We don't have a target man per se. Unless we play him as a target forward. We go with a deep line forward and a target forward. So Adam Larsson is going to come on for... Like, Enquist has done absolutely nothing wrong here whatsoever, but obviously we want someone more attacking in that capacity there. Shambos will replace Skoglund. Rockman will replace Savalainen. And the last change will be a midfielder. It's going to be a Karakate on for Dahlstrom. I have faith. We're just balls to the wall. Oh, it's just going to peter out. They've 60 minutes of dominance, 30 minutes of Inter Turku. There we go. We hit the... Oh my word. We are destined to lose for the remainder of tonight's stream. This has been brutal. Ball out wide. There's Slayman. Can he get there? He can't. Thiago Varga clears. We've got just 3 minutes of injury time left. Vega, can he go it? Can he make it 4? It's a good claim from Riikonen. It was a dangerous cross as well. Here we go. There we go. It's petering out once more. What a game, it says. What a game, it says. From 2-0 up, we have thrown it away to 3-2. 2.46 XG to 1.37. We are being punished right now. We are being absolutely destroyed by fortune from the looks of things. I think it's a water bottle time. I don't mind that you lose confidence. That is absolutely disgraceful. We are down to 10th. Oh my god, it's last season all over again. Our next game is away against HJK as well. We aren't able to get the game automatically advanced the next day as well, so the rest thing is going to be slightly off. They're all going to be coming back from rest on the day that we play the next game. Oh, this is painful. So, right, what did I miss there? Come on, Hammies. Almost 1/3 through, 7 into the 22 game regular season, that's true. Right, Rich is off. I do apologise, I missed that. Thank you very much. Lovely to have you along this evening. Up Mariehamn, said Rich Son. Cheerio. Oops, what the hell? Cooked. Jeez, you'd think someone had died. They did. Tackle harder and get stuck in. If we lose points, they shall lose players. I can't tackle harder, Quan. I can't. We give away so many penalties without it. Can you imagine how many penalties we'd give away if we actually went into challenges? Getting sacked in the morning. It does look that way, just moments after we signed a new contract. How do we keep on losing? I mean, I know there's the whole luck modifier thing that we could claim, and it's just that whatever's happened, we've rolled a little bit low on some consistency or some form on some key players. But oh my word, that has got to be what has been the 3-0 win, the 3-0 defeat, right? That was a fair result. By the end, we started the game really well, but they took the lead and they had control of that game ever from the moment they took the lead, so that's fine. Here we doubled the XG of Lahti, 2.1 to 1.0. Against VPS, we were whole to a 1-1 draw. We took the lead, we conceded a penalty 9 minutes later. That was 1.37 to 0.92 XG. Keeping in mind that 0.79 of their XG was that penalty. And then we lost to Nistan. The loss to Nistan, guess what? It was a penalty. We beat them on XG again. But if you remove the XG from them, the fact that we were beating them despite them having a penalty, 1.49 to 1.41. And then this game here, 2.46 to 1.37. We're playing really, really well. We're scoring goals every now and then. Like, Arvid Lundberg has 7 and 15, which is good. Olawale's 4 in 14 isn't so good. We are just not quite working out for us. Go on, go balls to the wall, up the aggression. How many more penalties do you want me to concede? Oh no, we just need to score our goals, and that means I think that I gave Olawale the start once again after the cup game, but I think it's Olawale is the sacrificial piece here. I thought Skoglund was fine, not great by any stretch of the mean, but it was fine. We are a little bit tired as a result of not being able to rest properly between games, so this is going to be Yuhien. Kuitunen is 2 days away, the game is 1 day away, but Yala is too far off. And we do have that on the break there. I mean, you do know, I am very much aware that I think that the way that we change our form is we close the game and we start again. I know that luck modifier isn't as pronounced as that. And we're not closing the game. We're not closing the game. We're just going to have to accept that it might be a bit of a slog. Here we go, HJK. We're away from home, so we're going to switch to our slightly less attacking setup. It's not that much less, it's a counter-attacking setup. We just have, actually, we've got an attacking midfielder instead of a trequartista. We slow down the tempo? No, we increase the passing directness by a notch. We add counter. And that's what we're going to have to switch to for this game, because they are against a good team. So Johnny has redeemed Hydrate.
Tatsugiri says, ouch, ouch indeed. It has been a very, very painful stream so far. So, Castle away. There we go. Passing directness is up a notch. Counter is on. And then we have the attacking midfielder with no instructions there at all. So maybe if we can get a little bit of luck, maybe if we're against under the cosh like throughout the game, maybe that creates a bit more space in behind, and we have that space. We can actually take our chances. We took our chances early in the game. Maybe we can learn how to defend. Pump fists. We have a reaction. Let's tell these guys, because they're feeling composed. Okay, I've confused him by saying that I want him to perform well. What's confusing about that, Machado? Is it really that crazy that I'd like you to not suck? So the early running, its momentum is a little bit in HJK's favour right now, which is what we kind of expect with us playing a bit more counter-attacking. We're going to push that ball forwards a little bit quicker, which means we're going to give it away a little bit more. We're not necessarily going to establish ourselves in the final third as much. So Kanalopoulos plays it down the line. Karasavi Penazan, his cross, it's blocked. Eza had the chance. Brighton managed to get his body in the way. It'll be a corner now for HJK. Karasavi Benasan stand over it. Swings it, outswinger to the far post. We can't get rid of it with the first clearance. They head it back into the box, which we can claim. We are still a little bit ahead on possession count early running, but it is very much all HJK right now. Ballas plays it into Band-Aid. Band-Aid creates some space, shoots, and it's wide. We are going to fire up. That's 5 shots now to just the one. They've had none of the ball whatsoever. So our plan of counter-attacking isn't working whatsoever because we've got so much of the ball. And there we go. It's 1-0 down. It was another throw-in. That's two highlights so far in a row that were throw-ins. This time the ball ran through after a low cross, and nobody was marking the man. Absolutely. All three of them. It's one of those again. It's one of those again. Like that long ball last season where 3 of the defenders went for it. Here's a low ball. 3 defenders went forwards. None of them went towards the man. And so we can't counter-attack whilst we're losing. Counter-attacking whilst losing makes no sense. We have to switch to the home. Let's see if we can create some chances in the second half. Or maybe just in the first half, that'd be nice. We intercept on an error. Larson takes aim just a little bit too high. At least that's a chance, though. We've had a highlight. And here, maybe that changes what we needed. Larson, heavy touch. Palace manages to get in behind. Kanalopoulos, the goal scorer. No pressure on him whatsoever. Plays it forwards. Here's Eze. Lovely, lovely touch. Keskinen now over to Helm. They've got some space on the right. We close out reasonably quickly. Back to Helm. Kanalopoulos plays it through the line. Eze, nobody tracking him. That's 2-0. Oh my word. Oh my word. So Yonsa is off. He's going to call it a night. Got a game tomorrow, so not going to stay up too late. Best of luck for the games. Thank you very much for being along, Yonsa. Oh, this is absolutely painful stuff. There's a beautiful finish. Eze, though, there is no way that he should be able to run beyond 3 defenders. But once he gets into that position, that timing is lovely, but slow reactions from Reitinen. The finish was beautiful, though. A delightful finish. I was talking about how we were winning the game on XG, but failing to get any results. This time round, we are getting absolutely stomped. So the results are fair. No way we can complain about that. Obviously, if we'd created 1.64 XG compared to 0.16, we would be 4-0 down at this point. I don't know what to do. Well, I do. I think we accept defeat. As in, we look to try and stop ourselves from losing too much in this second half. So let's change to a slightly more traditional 5-3-2. We'll have the attacking midfielder there. We'll have him as a supporting guy. So because he's supporting, we'll attack on that side where the starter is. Let's just push the ball forwards. Let's just always forwards. Everything. Send it forwards. Stop holding on to the ball. I don't want us to have loads of the ball. Because we're not creating any chances when we have lots of the ball. Here we go. Into the second half. It is still HJK with the early running. One chance so far in the second half. We've had a couple of chances there. There's a Helm has been imperious in the air. But are we going to create anything of any note in the second half? It doesn't look that way. Maybe we do go and push these guys forwards once more. We don't have any real options on the bench because of injuries for those positions. Johnny Slayman will come on. Skoglund will come off. I'm so happy that we've not really been able to get anything out. So our Trequartistas have scored some goals occasionally, but their performances are rubbish in any other role, and in the Trequartista one. This is going to finish 2-0 from the looks of things. We're not able to create anything. We've tried sending it as far forward as we possibly can. There's distribute quickly is probably the only thing I've got left as an option. We don't seem to be creating. We've finally given up on the possession side of things though. Lomboy TV, fun to see you doing a save with my local club. Good evening, Lomboy. I've got some bad news. We are in awful form right now. We are losing. We are dominating games and losing. We're having games where we're not dominating at all and we're losing. We're giving away penalties. Everything is bad, and we're now just 1 position above the relegation zone. That was after winning the Liga Cup in the second season and winning our first 2 games in the league. And since that point, it's just all fallen apart, sadly. And here we go, 3-0. 3-0 to HJK. Game over. Seems fair, we're shit in real life. Apart from 2016. 2016 was an amazing year. Plus, like, Wicklow Holding Arena, it's a nice, charming ground. But this is very disappointing. Very disappointing. Oh my. Why can't we do that? When we create those kinds of chances, we miss them. Oh. Right. We're in training tomorrow. We need to change things massively. This is absolute craziness. How on earth have we gone to this? It seems crazy. Last season, the end of the season last year, so from July, this tactic worked an absolute treat. Then into the beginning of the season, we lost a couple of games here and there. A really spirited defeat against Cercle Bruges in a friendly. And then all of a sudden, so we started the stream tonight here. Here. Won a game, drew a game, won the cup, and then pain. Oscar Wickloff is an IFK youth player. He plays for Freiburg in real life. Interesting. So we rely on our scouts for suggesting players. But there's Oscar Wickloff, 37 games playing for Freiburg's reserve team. He's doing okay. A couple of goals, a couple of assists. He's not doing too bad. We've got one. I think that this will be the last game for this evening. It brings us up to 9 games for the season. Can we get something going? So, what was? No, not that. At one point, we were running with a 4-4-2 diamond. Let's see if we can go back to that. So from here, let's try for one game to run the same approach. We'll move you back to being a trequartista. We move you forwards, we move you back. So it's basically the same system, but with a little bit more. So the ball winner is in midfield. We're going to run with Caraleros here so that we've got them supporting with Lundberg. And then we will try running this in the next game, see how it gets on. Mika Aratalo is not a fan favourite, always scored against us and played dirty. Understandable. Now, Mika, as an Aston Villa fan, Mika Aratalo
is obviously a little bit of a legend. He was a great player in some of the past Championship Manager games. Never quite lived up to it in real life, unfortunately. A little bit similar to a couple of the Danish players Villa had in that era as well. So players like Magnus Troost, who I think may have gone on to Juventus at one point, but never played. So it felt appropriate to pick out Mika Aratalo as our manager, someone that I've got a connection, that I've got fond memories of from a former game. I appreciate that he's not local to the islands. He probably doesn't want to be Swedish in real life. But yeah. So Crablung says, I want to send you my Vitesse tactics to get you out of it. It's like Russell Martin ball, but penetrative and not boring. That doesn't sound like Russell Martin ball at all. I thought those were the two key parts of the tactic. So here we are against Cups. We're expected to draw. Now we've been in this position before, right? So we've been literally in this league position at this point last season. Maybe we were in 10th at that point. We have surely got to be able to beat Cups, who are 4 points above us at this point. A win would be huge for us. A win would be massive. Can the change of system be the thing that we need to pull us through? Let's do a quick pick. Let's see who they suggest. So let's put Shambost in midfield with Dahlstrom. Forstrom at left back, absolutely not. That's Enquist is not fit. Oh, Queetonen is back from injury. Brighton and Machado. Machado been winning his headers, winning his tackles. Whitening, winning his headers, winning his tackles. That bit's fine there. Slayman, Larson, Rockman, Akereke. I think we're bringing Akereke in. We'll bring Shambos. Give Shambos that chance once again. So Akereke can't play that far forwards, but I'm sure Fonsell can. He can indeed. So there we go. Let's give it a go. Right, Cubs manager Honkavara is going to Djurgården according to the newspapers. Oh, that's a nice move. That's going to be a good one. So let's. Right, it's time to put this form behind us. I trust you. I don't trust you. Let's see if we can turn things around. This will be the game. This will be the game to end the stream where everything becomes rosy. So the early exchanges, we've had a lot of the ball. We've seen that before. Can't really make much of it. Muzinga on the ball. Here's Ajala. Plenty of time. Plays it back to Cisse. It draws Lundberg out. Koisten into Tamminen. Tamminen back to Koisten. All the way back to Hämäläinen. Ajala. Easy. Far too easy to pass through. Muzinga now has the chance to cross. That's a great save from Riikkonen. Oh, big save. Oh, it's Schultz. They've put Schultz in goal for this one, and that seems to be fair. We've conceded more than our XG against. So Schultz comes up with a big save, and now here's a chance for us to counter with Savalainen. Savalainen plays it inside to Lundberg, and we go back. And we go back should probably be our catchphrase. So that was a big chance, and we can see that we've not really had the best of it so far in the opening exchanges. But Cops send it long. Forstrom is on the ball. Plays it into Fonsell. Shambost able to play it through the lines. Here's Olawale. Olawale, what a great save from Kreidel. Oh, we needed that. Now he's doing the right thing. So let's encourage him. When someone does something good but it doesn't result in a goal, we will encourage. When someone does something, apart from really good saves, when they score a goal, we'll praise. Let's be positive here. Michael Fonsell is really talented. Signed a new contract this week. Marvellous stuff. He does seem to be a pretty decent little player. Obviously, our main man has been Arvid Lundberg. We didn't expect him to even start for us in the first season, but he's been just such a force up front. Top scorer last season with 14 goals. Currently top scorer this season with 7. A quality player for us. Out to Forstrom here. Forstrom as an attacking wing-back does seem a little bit daft, but we are short on wide defenders at the moment with Ajala and Enqvist not particularly fit. Dahlstrom tries to get there. There's the cross, and there's Olawale. 1-0. Here we go. We've been in this position before. We took a 2-0 lead in the last home game before somehow throwing it away. But this is what we need. Savalainen's cross was blocked. Cleared even. Dahlstrom, though, gets down the outside. Weird thing happens there. Gets a cross in. Smashes it in at the near post. Kreidel didn't have a chance. There's the goal celebrations. H-Tank, beautiful. Yeah, Arvid Lundberg has been on trials all over Europe. Marvellous. At Roma, incredible. Get in indeed. But it hasn't been what I would necessarily call a great game. We can see that looking at XG under 1 for both sides, but we have had some chances in that half. It's a big save from Lasse Schultz. A big goal from Olawale. We can do better. We can step this up. So individuals, have faith in you two. And who else didn't respond? You two. No point in saying it to Forsström. He's on a yellow card. Ponsel is left-footed. That's what it comes down to ultimately. Ponsel is left-footed, so he's going to be our wing back for the second half. Craziness. Absolute craziness. And to you, I have faith. Right, 45 minutes. If we can... Right, so they've had an early chance. That momentum swing already there. We seem to start the 5-minute periods well, and then it dips down a little bit, and that can get a bit misleading. But it is currently looking reasonably promising there. Savalainen is knackered. Dahlstrom is knackered. I'm running out of central midfielders as well. So Shambost is left-footed. So Shambost will become the Carolera on the left. Dahlstrom's coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Skoglund. Lundberg is knackered. He's coming off to be replaced by Sleiman. Give them any given Sunday speech. We could go. That requires me to remember it. We'll have to prepare one for a future stream. Here's the cross. Schultz claims. This feels like it's going to be an equaliser. Did you see how much momentum we've had in the last 10 minutes or so? It feels like things are definitely moving in our favour, and that generally means something bad. Another great save. Olawale, he misses 2 big chances, but he scores 1. That ultimately is going to carry his position in the team, I think. It seems crazy. 1.2 XG he's had. So to score 1 goal isn't necessarily unheard of. Here's Sleiman from distance, hits the foot of the post. And Kups managed to clear. The corner now. Shambost takes it into the far post. And that is Mohamed Tehi Olawale with the second goal. That's all I've got to do, is I've just got to slag them off. I slag him off, and then he scores a goal. Right, at the far post, Olawale rises nicely. Had a little bit of momentum on the defender with the run. Now, all I want to do is I want to wait until 80 minutes to kind of try and shut up shop. And always, just before I'm about to press that space bar, there's a highlight for the opposition. This is Kup's chance to pull one back. They know we're vulnerable when defending a 2-0 lead. And here it is. Here it is. Voutilainen pulls one back. Goalkeeper dives the wrong way. Okay, now coming off. One more change that we can make. Look at the defenders. They're so tired. So these guys coming on to support, right? So Kuitunen. Savalainen, I really don't like having players so tired. So I can only really make the one change there. I'm not bringing Olawale off. He's playing well. I'm not bringing... Sleiman's only just come on. Skoglund's come on. I can't play these guys anywhere else. Right, you asked me to bite my fingernails. Dear God. If there was a team complacently hidden attributes, yours would be 20. It really would. It really, really would. Schultz just dives out the way. Oh man, he's played well up until now. Apparently he's on a 6.6 despite that massive, massive save earlier. Into the last 10 minutes. Come on, we need to hold out on this. If we manage to collapse once again, I deserve to be sacked. Savalainen is on his last legs. Barely anything left in the tank. But right in at the far post, Machado wraps things up, potentially in injury time. It's right in at the far post. He heads it back across. Machado gets up high. Kreidel scrambling across his goal. We're going to win the league, Hank. We're going to win the league. Oh boy. Oh boy. That is much, much needed. Again, we doubled them on XG, but this time we actually put our chances away. I think that is a beautiful, beautiful end to proceedings here. That only lifts us up to 9th, but we're only 7 points off top. And we know that if we can get a run of wins together, that we can be unstoppable. So they've noted that we reverted to the 4-4-2 diamond, and that managed to bring off the win. I have a feeling that we used it for one game last season, so that is some upsetting. That was only because we had a load of injuries. Training, rest one day. So Lomboy, you said, have you had the summer slump yet? In real life, we always lose in the summer due to the players getting distracted by the island becoming a party paradise. Describe Åland as a party paradise. Interesting. I have had a couple of nights out in Åland. It was certainly an interesting experience. Granted, I think what I noticed was the main issue I had was that the sun didn't set till like 11 p.m. Then it rose again at like 2 a.m. So sleep was horrible. Very, very, very little sleep that we got over that week or so. But a fabulous, fabulous place. Right, we're going to win the league. We are indeed weightlifted indeed. Weightlifted indeed. Now we've just got to hold on and build some momentum from here. We need to be in that championship group. This should be a season we're aiming to be right near the title. Maybe the title itself would be a bit of a stretch too far. Ilves are a very good team, but we can't go backwards after last season. And Knight of Knee says Machado saving the gaffer. Quite possibly. We were probably safe for a while. We signed that new contract, so I think that the new contract probably meant that we'd have some grace for 6 months or so. But it does feel like things were looking like a little grim. Right. That is where we're going to call it a night. I'd like to say a massive thank you to everyone for popping along. Has been a very, very rough stream. My word. We started off with a win. We threw away a draw in a game that we dominated. We threw away a defeat in a game we didn't dominate. We dominated that one, and that one, and that one. We were absolutely stomped there. And finally, after a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game winless run in the league, we have finished things off with a 3-1 win over Cups. That was pretty nervy up until the last few moments. I will be letting you guys know either on Twitter or Blue Sky or in the Discord whether we'll be streaming tomorrow evening and whether that stream is going to be carrying on Mariehamn or if it's going to be something a little bit different and special for a bonus Saturday night stream. So we will raid out on what's it called?